the other day. I was trying to figure out I was trying to download Streamlab, trying to figure out how to use Reaper. I was trying to figure out the painting stuff on Inkscape, and I was typing up some shit, so I didn't get any of it done. None of it.
Nothing.
Not a fucking thing, dude.
All right.
But
let's get this over here. I think because this is technically supposed to be on the left side.
Oh, it is?
Well, I mean, it's just...
Let's see how that feels. That way I'll sit in the seat versus being dragged across. It's a good idea.
All right. Yeah, I like that. That's kind of how I like it.
Well, it's good. It's good to know what you like.
Yeah.
Some people like Mexicans.
Some people do. Some people don't. Some people do.
Some people don't.
I don't know.
I don't think Donald Trump
Some people
does.
don't like Lithuanians. Some people do.
I think people are just lazy whenever it comes to when the words get too long. They're done at Lith. They're like, what the? Nah, I'm just not taking it. Mexican, it's easy.
People? Fuck these people.
Mexican.
Welcome to another Purple Shed podcast, Ben. How are you today?
I appreciate it. I'm doing well, man. Appreciate it, Barrett. Glad you have me again.
Thanks, man. I'm doing really good. You know why? I had a jiu-jitsu miracle, dude.
What's up?
Something in my knee was, I think, in the wrong spot. Because I don't remember what happened. I was just, I hurt my knee a little while back, but it's been feeling better. And then I was rolling the other night, and after we got done, it was just like something was like pinched. And it was just, I couldn't extend it like flat, like lock my knee out, like that. It was just, I was getting a pain like right in the front. And then today I wasn't even gonna roll. Then I kind of went light with everybody. And then right around rolling with Matt, it just kind of stopped hurting. So I think
police brutality.
Something. Yeah, Matt's a healer. He was calling himself a healer now. Matt the healer. I don't know what happened. It may have been with you or something. I just noticed it. All of a sudden I was like, my knee's it's not hurting. I thought maybe it's just the adrenaline of being rolling and all that, and how sometimes you feel fine, and then when you're done, you're like, oh shit, should not have done that. But nothing,
good now.
Man. I think it just moved it back in place or whatever.
Jiu-jitsu miracle.
Yeah, man, it's a jiu-jitsu miracle. Miracle.
American jiu-jitsu miracle. That's cool.
So how you had a good class today? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, dude. Last at least week or so.
Yeah.
If I'm off and on when I can come, it's never like a steady 3 weeks, whatever. But the last few weeks that I've been there, all the rolls have been progressively better for me. Not just me. I mean, everybody else.
You're noticing everybody else.
Everyone's getting smoother.
Yeah.
It's a lot more, not just attacks, but
escapes.
Thinking. You can tell they're thinking without having to think.
Yeah.
It's a lot more activity. And that's still the wrong word, but it's just all this movement. It's confusing, but I like it. But yeah, it seems like everyone's just getting exponentially better quicker, and that's just awesome.
It's good. I've noticed that too. Same thing.
And
makes me happy.
Yes, it makes me feel like something's being done right.
Yeah. It makes me.
I don't know what that is, and I'd like to continue
it's
it.
Just
but
a feeling, man.
Fuck.
It's a good feeling to go to class and know that you're gonna learn something, and everybody else is learning. You're progressing and all that stuff. Yeah. So I just enjoy it, man.
We were talking the other day about it, and I was really thinking about it today because more and more people have been tapping me. Sometimes people tap me because every once in a while I'll give up a submission.
I can never get comfortable.
I'll say...
I don't mean to change the subject right quick. I move around so much. I'm watching you, and you never fucking move. And I'm like, I need to follow... The whole time I'm like moving this, it's because
if I move, that corn cob in my ass makes it hurt.
Okay, anyway, go ahead. Back to your story, man. I'm trying to figure out the best route for me.
Shit, I forgot what I was talking
about. I'm sorry, dude. You're talking about you go to
matter.
class a few times, and oh damn it, dude. I'm sorry. I fucked you all up, didn't I? Because I was like trying to figure out how to sit.
I have been looking for new TV shows to watch because a while back some shit went down. I was watching a lot of TV shows, a lot of shows. I lay down and watch them at night and stuff. Well, I mean, series, whether it was movies or series or documentaries, whatever. And then it just got now to where either I don't know if I have the time or the time I have, I usually dig through and make a list.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch this, and this, turn the TV off and then read.
Right.
So I've been trying to figure out some new TV shows or something to watch.
Make a list. list for your TV time, dude?
Yeah, and then just ignore it.
Man, okay. Well, I thought you were like, okay, 15 minutes I can watch the Netflix show, blah, 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 or whatever. Like, I don't work like that, dude. I'm totally just random with my shit.
Well, and that's awesome. My brain is broken in that sense.
I can't follow a schedule. I can try. I mean, I can. It's not like I've never had jobs or I've had to be there at 8 and all that shit. It's not like I can't follow a schedule. But just the way I work now, I just can't even imagine like writing down like you're gonna do this and this. And now I will occasionally like put a little to-do list in my phone, like got to pay this bill, got to pay that. Don't forget to call this guy. But that may take me. There's no time limit on it. It's not like today at 6 you're doing this. Yeah. I don't know.
Well, most of my stuff is like that. I'll get in the morning and I'll make a list. I got to do this stuff today. Okay. But what I meant by list is some of those apps on TV, on the Fire Stick apps, whatever they are.
Yeah.
You can add to like a list, just like a queue. Something you might want to go back and watch later. Yeah, that's what I mean by I just I'm adding stuff to my list, and then I never go back and watch any of it.
I see what you're saying. I thought you meant list as in you're writing it down. I was like, oh, okay.
No.
I was like, damn, dude, we need to turn the camera off and have a talk. You got to write that shit down.
No, we just need to slap the shit out of me. Just give me some more brain damage.
On the camera, whatever.
Yes.
Man, we were talking about jiu-jitsu, and you were saying that you...
Oh, the tapping.
Yes, you were getting tapped more. Yeah, I wanted to hear what you had to say.
It seems that like people have been tapping me more, and I don't really give up submissions like every once in a while to a white belt I really doesn't know a lot. I'll put my arm out or whatever in such a way where it's very obvious. Like, are they going to go for the armbar? And it's more not to see can they get it, or are they going to recognize the position and the advantages they could take. But now what I'll do is more than that. I'll give up a position.
Yeah.
I'll give up my back a lot, or I'll give up side mount just to see where they're going to go, what's going to happen. And more people have been knocking out submissions.
They're on it.
And that's all. And they're transitioning. They go for this one to this one, and it's just awesome.
That's one of the things that when I do, I'm proud of myself. If I like chain a couple together, it makes me like, oh, okay, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to go for this choke, and if they defend it like that, you know they're going to defend it. Yeah. Slip your arm in, they go for the arm bar, and if they defend that, they go. It makes me feel good when I do those things. So I know what you're saying, to see like a white belt or something even white belts are starting to do that. Yeah, which is exciting to me too. You know what I mean? So,
especially at that level.
Yeah,
because if you're chaining at white belt, then you're something's going on right, and it's gonna be exponential at purple.
I love that stuff, man. Makes me feel good. I wanted to tell you something about today, and I can't remember exactly what it was. Oh, well, it popped in my head. We watched Jello Squid, the Jello Squid channel.
Jello-Squid
on YouTube.
On YouTube.
Yeah, it's not what I was expecting it to be. This is a younger girl that does some like anime stuff, and I don't know if she uses sound clips over it or she does some of the stuff herself.
I don't know either.
She probably edits, and it's really good. Yeah. It's done really very well.
Very creative.
They're short. They're like a couple of minute video long, a couple of minutes long, some of them, and it wasn't what I was expecting. So,
no, me neither.
It was fun to watch.
It was very fun.
It's different,
Yeah, so check out Jello-Squid on YouTube.
Squid on YouTube, yeah. Man, she needs to just keep doing it, I guess. Do her thing, yeah. Anyway, so I just wanted to bring that up while I was thinking about it. But there was something about jiu-jitsu that I wanted to talk to you about now. Maybe it was what we talked about earlier about the sweep or something. Yeah, I don't know. But how you doing, man?
I'm doing decent.
Ready back to work?
Yeah, sort of, yeah. Yes and no. Well, I would not be mad at anybody if, like I said, they signed it in for 2 weeks. So February 15th. Trump says he's more than down to close the government again. And, being that we usually get back pay, for people that don't have to show up to work, let's not get that twisted. There are people that have to show up to work right now and aren't getting paid.
We know people.
Blows.
We know people like that.
That sucks. And I hate that. But for me, I just don't go to work and later on it's like a little vacation.
Yeah.
And, and I know that hurts a lot of people's feelings. And taxpayers, that probably pisses them off too, but I didn't do it.
Yeah, I mean, you'd rather be at work. I mean, yeah. And like you said, that it's not. Hey, look, man, I didn't do it. I'm just here.
All I do is eat bugs. That's it.
And the thing about the people that are working right now, they know they're going to get paid. You guys, they may be like, well, we'll pay you. We're gonna do it.
You know,
Just
to be honest,
hold on.
To be honest, with you, I think it all falls under the same.
It's all the same.
Yeah,
So no matter what, so everybody
long,
gets paid at the same time.
I believe so.
Employee, whatever.
I believe that's how it works. They have to vote in after they vote to reopen the government, vote a budget, and then they have to vote to see if they're going to back pay.
Okay, I was wondering if they could put some.
I would hope
something like
the essential people would get paid more or quicker. Rather,
that's what you would think. I guess in the long run, it's probably easier just to go pay everybody. But you almost think that they would maybe go like, well, we'll pay these people first, or what? I guess it really is. I mean, they just write everybody a check. So I mean, I guess it, some boop on the computer and it'll just send all the checks out or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, and then you have to go back and mess with. So you ever had a shitty job talking about checks? You ever had what's the job that you just had that you did not like?
Well, I guess, man, honestly, I've never maybe had like not a shitty job. I've had jobs that were like
a shitty boss or shitty person you worked with or whatever.
I did construction in high school, like topped out houses for plumbing, did like gas lines and stuff, like threaded the pipe, cut the pipe and threaded, and did gas line plumbing, did flooring, tile, wood, tongue and groove, all that stuff. I was just kind of like a gopher, you know what I mean? I literally one time showed up to work. The guy I worked for, Mr. Tom, he built like $1.5 million houses in Mandeville, the area, like Slidell, Mandeville area. I don't even remember how I got the job. The girl I was dating at the time, somebody she was living with, and were friends, and they were old. She lived with the people, and they were older anyway. She got me the job, kind of, but. So I showed up one time at work in this huge house, and I go upstairs, and Mr. Tom, I'm screaming for him. It's just like concrete and drywall, and it's like spiral staircase, like 6 bathrooms. Oh, wow. You know what I'm saying? Like dining room, kitchen, living room, game room, all that crap. And the upstairs was like 2,700 square feet, just the upstairs. Okay, wow. 2,500 square feet. I show up, and he goes, here's the key to this little shitty Toyota truck we had. It was like this tiny little shitty Toyota truck. It was about to fall apart. It was tiny. And he goes, go to Lowe's. They got in the contractor's desk. They got a order put together for you. So
was it a stick shift?
Yeah,
I remember those little Toyotas. They had the longest stick shift in the world.
Dude, it was tiny.
It was so weird. Yeah, half of it's a stick shift.
The bed was maybe the size, like a little bit bigger than a twin mattress.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, it's what I'm saying. Like it was just that.
They're
it was
tiny, those little ones.
And the stick shift was like a baseball bat coming out of the floorboard. Yeah, and you're sitting like this little tiny thing. Yeah, man. But and I love driving the stick, man. I always thought it was fun.
They're so fun.
And so I go to Lowe's or Home Depot or whatever, and I show up, and they're like, "Yeah, we got 2,500 square feet of 3/4 inch rosewood or whatever." It was probably, I don't remember what it was. It was 3/4 inch thick by 3 inch tongue and groove, like hardwood flooring. And I was like, "You have how much?" And it was like 3 piles of it. I had to do 3 trips to get it all in this tiny or maybe 2. I think I got like 2/3 of the first trip and the rest of the last trip, and then all kinds of other shit. These air-powered hammer guns that like hammered the flooring together and drove the nail in, sucked it up, and then there were some that were manual. Bunch of he like rented all that shit from them. So I show up, and he's like, "Okay, I'm like 16. I think I might have even been 15." And it was like that, like the summer I turned 16. I turned 16 in August, so it was like the beginning of that summer. I was 15. And I go upstairs like, "Hey, Mr. Tom, I got all this stuff. What do you want me to do with it?" He's bring it all up here. And so I bring 2,700 square feet upstairs, all the tools and everything. Okay, now what you mean? He goes, okay. He walks over, chops saw, set all that shit up. He cuts a couple of pieces, lays it on the ground, goes, "Here, this is how you do this. Bam, bam, bam. Keep this every 6 rows you make. Put these washers in here for a spacer, and I'm going to come check on you in a few hours." And he just fucking leaves me. I've never done flooring before, ever. I have no idea. Now you want me to do 700 square feet with like thresholds and closets and just weird corners and walls that were curves and shit. I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing, dude. Come on, are you serious?
Did you just leave or did you do
No, I just started fucking doing it.
Hell yeah.
I was just, it took me, I mean, it was weird. It was like, just you start off real slow and then you start moving. And
some people would have just fucking left.
No, dude, he's paying me like $10 an hour cash, and I was 15. This was 20-something years ago. You know what I mean? I was like, fuck,
that you just stayed. That's the Barrett way, man. That's awesome.
Well, I mean, I was like, I got to get this money. And I wanted to learn how to do it, too. I figured, whatever, man. I'll just if I fuck up, it's on him. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. So I just started doing it, man, and I eventually figured it out. I did almost the entire top by myself.
Oh, wow.
My brother actually came for a couple of days from college, and he was like, hey, man, you gonna make a couple extra bucks? And I was like, yeah, come help me do this for like 6 or 7 hours today and, make $100 or whatever, or $50 or whatever. And so he came and did that. And but then, other than that, man, I don't. And there was one little weird section where this old carpenter guy we had, like, it was like compound curves and stuff. And he sat there for like 2 days and like made all the pieces fit to, know. But other than that, I did everything else, man.
Good job. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was kind of sucked. But it was, and then but he was always like that. He would just go like, here, go do this. Here's 1,000 square feet of tile. You ever done tile before? No, Mr. Tom, I've never done tile. All right, well, by the time you're done with this, you'll be good at it. See you later. Okay.
That's a really cool way to learn.
Yeah.
For some people, because
expensive way to learn though.
Well, it is expensive, but as long as it's not on your dime, a lot of people, you throw them right in like that. It's a steep learning curve, but a lot more people can do it than think they can do it.
They can't. Yeah, I was like, well, I can figure it out. It's gonna maybe take me a week, but I'll figure it out.
I've had people used to work with bricklayers, and this is why I was just joking about leaving. So say we start at 7 o'clock in the morning, we get a break at like 9, and then eat lunch at 12 or whatever. And we've had people first day start at 7, go to break at 9, don't come back. I know shit. 2 hours is what the
come on, man.
Yeah,
come on.
And these people I knew, and they didn't complain. They weren't like, man, this is fucking hard. This is bullshit. It's hot. It's cold.
Yeah,
nothing. It's just like going to break.
Yeah,
never came back. That's cool. So it's weird, man. Some people, I don't know if it's lazy, if it's intimidating.
I never had that attitude. I, in a way, the weird way, I almost kind of enjoyed it. I mean, I was like,
well, we like. I think people in general like to build things and have an end product, whether it's stitching or fucking raking the yard. We like to create order out of chaos.
Yeah, I do.
It's beautiful. I think people in general do. They don't like to think they do because no, I don't like to clean my house. It's boring. Yeah, but whenever they're done, you can probably see a glow in them that wasn't there before. They're just happy they accomplished it. We like to accomplish things.
Yeah.
And
the flooring was cool too, man, because I literally, the air-powered hammers were pretty cool unless you didn't line it up, and it would be like boom and drive a nail like through the top. You'd have to be like shit, and you'd like pry bar it up, pull the nail out.
Does that ruin that piece?
Sometimes, but you save it because then you need a short one somewhere or something. So you just you just kind of throw it in a pile or whatever. Like, those are my pieces. I'll just go grab if I need it. But and then the ones that weren't air powered, like that weren't hooked to a compressor, that you just had to have these big rubber mallets that weigh like 8 pounds. You had to be like, boom, and if you didn't line that up, or if you didn't hit it hard enough, then you had to stop plot because you couldn't do it over again. You just had to pull the nail out because these special nails, you couldn't just put it back on, hit it again.
Gotcha.
You had like a clip that fed the nails down to or some shit. And but I don't remember exactly where I was going with this. Oh yeah, I know. You're talking about order out of chaos, and man, you just all day long, it's frustrating dealing with shit, but you just keep going. And then all of a sudden, I remember one time I was going across this like big open room at the top of the stairs. The stairs came up, and it like went. There was a couple, like a bathroom and a bedroom and something else, and then it came into like a loft area where you could put like a pool table and couch and all that stuff with a banister overlooking downstairs, kind of. And it was just huge. It was like 15 feet wide by like 25 feet long area. And I was going across it and just all day long. And I remember I turned around and looked back, and I was like, holy shit, it looks like a floor. You know what I mean? Like, I remember thinking like, okay, that's pretty cool, And just, I had done like a third of it or something. So I did this big, huge section. I was like, man, that's pretty badass. Yeah. Like, I'm doing this floor, And when they came in and sanded it and like I helped sand some of it, with the big things, and swept it all up and everything, and then they stained it and lacquered it and all that shit. Man, it looked beautiful. It was like gorgeous, And I remember thinking like, wow, that's cool. Okay, I'm glad I did that. You know, it's not for me, and it's not how the house isn't mine or whatever, but that's cool. I did it. You know what I mean? If one day I want to do it for my house, I know how to do it now, or a friend or whatever, or get paid to do it. So anyway, so I'm glad I didn't give up. I'm glad
that's
I didn't.
Cool.
Yeah, and of course I was making more money doing that than I could have doing like a bag boy at Super One or something.
Have you ever done anything like that, like a lower level, like an entry level job, like that, bag boy or flipping burgers?
I've done warehouse stuff, like unloading trucks.
Oh, okay.
I love doing that shit too, though, man.
It's all.
What about you?
People call it mindless, but it's almost like meditation. Sometimes you get such a groove.
You get in a groove.
And it needs to be done, so whatever.
Well, and that too, man. And like it was just, I worked at Service Merchandise unloading trucks when I was, probably like 16 or 17. It was like after that job. I had that job during the summer, and then like
Service. You mentioned that the other day, and I want to say I remember their catalogs for some reason. When I was younger, I loved looking through catalogs.
Yeah,
I guess like marking. Oh, I want this.
It was the internet.
It's weird. Yes,
that was our
exactly.
Internet. It was like, it's a new catalog. We could like flip through it and read. Look at this racetrack or whatever.
Yeah, I've never thought about it that way. That was our internet.
My brother one time called libraries the 80s internet because we were talking about one time how when he was in college and my little short stint in colleges, I like going to the library, just wandering around, just wander and just kind of pick a book and be like, what is this? Oh, it's that. Okay, put it back, wander. And like, oh, I'm in like the physics section. Cool. What's this? Oh, this is a cool book on programming computers in the 70s, and just read through, kind of flip through it, put it back, walk around. And my brother was, man, it's like the 80s internet. You just kind of like Googling stuff. You're just walking around like, oh, what's this? It's like,
that's awesome.
Going down a rabbit hole, but, just wandering around an old building with
physically having to go down.
With the smell and the and reading through the pages. I just thought it kind of cool. I like old libraries. What was your first job? What did you do?
I don't know. I remember some of my first jobs. I think I worked at Red Lobster for a few weeks, maybe a month.
Okay. Did you hate that?
No, it wasn't bad. For reasons we won't really talk about. It wasn't that bad.
Okay.
But Gadzooks, if you remember Gadzooks in the mall, they were sort of a raver store. They started as like almost like a Hot Topic, like a underground, but then they turned into a rave store, and then they got to where they sold weird Tommy Hilfiger shit.
Yeah,
very mainstream. Anyways, back then when I once again for reasons we don't talk about, I would hang out there a lot, and I would sit there and I didn't know these people, but we were there, and they were young, sort of like me. I mean, older than me, obviously, but I would just harass them. Hey, you guys wanting to hire people, like, no, they joke around, and I kept harassing them. And one day I had my hair up in these little, it was short, like a little longer than it is now, but I had it like pulled up in these little sections with little beads around it, shiny beads.
I knew
and
you
shit.
were gonna say beads for some reason, but
and it was like neon beads, all that bullshit. And they asked me, have you got a job yet? Nah. And then they offered me a job after like 6 weeks or something.
Yeah, so you just kind of kept persistent with it. Yeah.
And then so I worked there for a while, and that was one of my first jobs.
Okay.
And that was super fun. You didn't have to be completely sober to work there ever.
Yeah.
And so much to where I showed up just a hangover off of whatever. And I told the lady, I was like, so she's like, you look like shit. All right. And I just sat. She gave me some paperwork to like act like I was doing. I sat behind the counter for a while. This was, it was January 2nd. So it was the day after. It was a party.
Oh, New Year's.
We went to New Year's Day
thing.
night.
Yeah.
We got super inebriated that night.
Oh,
so,
man.
Yeah. Blitzed.
Well, I remember one time we had a party. My parents went out of town or something, and people come over and we got trashed. And I don't do that because it's always affected me differently, even back then. But this is kind of when I was learning that, like, oh, this is okay. You drunk and me drunk is not the same thing. Like, it makes me feel different to a point. Like, so, a couple, something light. I'm like, yeah, this kind of feels silly, but it gets to a point where I'm like, this is not fun for me. I feel like I'm literally getting poisoned, And but I just got trashed one night and had to go to work the next day. And I think might have been around Christmas time or leading up to Christmas time. So the trucks were early. I remember it was like 2 a.m. and we were still drinking.
Wow.
We had to be at work for like 6 to unload a 1,000-piece truck and stock it and all that stuff. And man, we were the next day just like, oh my God, why did we do like throwing up in the bathroom and stuff? Yeah, man. We were all drunk and we're still drunk. We went to work drunk. So I don't do that much anymore, man. Ever. I haven't been like just drunk in a long, probably since then, just damn near about. But
everybody goes through that, right?
Yeah,
and everybody does the drinking because that's the first thing you can really get your hands on. Anything to bring you out of this reality,
right? Yeah,
and because I think that we have such a poor drug education system, I just laugh at the DARE system, and because all they're doing is showing these piles of drugs, saying it makes you feel fucking great, might ruin your life, but it makes you feel good. but don't do it.
Yeah.
Just say no to it. And that's all they give them.
Yeah, there's nothing else. Like,
there's nothing. So
right.
once again, it makes me feel cool. I'm just going to take everything I can because I don't know if I'm able to get it again.
Thanks for telling me about all these drugs that make you feel cool.
And so that's what we have. We're creating brain damage for everything, whether it's mushrooms or weed or alcohol, whatever it is. And that's the easiest one to get, and that's probably the worst one.
Yeah, it's probably
fucking
the
alcohol.
Worst one. We know it's. I mean, if anybody just about nowadays thinks that marijuana is worse than alcohol. Like, I think something's wrong with you. You know, I mean, it's just like, come on. I mean,
either something's wrong with you, or you just ignorant or oblivious to the facts,
right? Yeah,
and evidence.
And it's just, I mean, you could ruin your life with either one. You know, you could just be like, I just want to get high for the rest of my life.
I can ruin my life coming over and hang out with you every day.
True, yeah, man.
Because I could.
You should.
Yeah,
because I'm going to do that. I'm trying to ruin your life.
Oh, I appreciate that.
You could.
As long as you're thinking about me.
Just include me in your plan.
Yeah,
include me in your
I like to be liked. That's all.
Anyway, how could you ruin your life coming over here? Give me a scenario.
No, I'm saying I could completely ignore. I could get addicted to try and working on this.
Yeah. Okay.
And then sort of neglect the job, sort of neglect my kids a little bit. You know, anything can ruin your fucking life.
Yeah,
but
you're right.
With the right education, we can use things as tools rather than hindrances.
Right. And now we're finding out. I mean, I read articles all the time about like like mushroom stuff's popping up everywhere now. How
they're they're trying to legalize it in Oregon.
Yeah, and it's treating depression and like dementia, certain PTSD, certain diseases that they that you get later on in life, like dementia type diseases, Alzheimer's and stuff. I think they're finding that there's some potential that microdosing and stuff will rebuild the neural pathways in your body and your brain and all that. So I mean, it's like, God, come on, it's just, it really makes you think like maybe everything's already on the earth that we need. Like maybe at least far as medicine. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't want to get anything major operated on me, not get anesthesia or whatever. But just like healing, like homeopathic healing and stuff like that. It makes you think like what's out there. One of my favorite scenes in the movie Pineapple Express. You ever seen that movie? When they're down in the bunker and it's like black and white footage, and the guys they're doing testing on weed, and he's sitting in the room, and the guy walks in with like the suit on or whatever, and he's smoking and stuff, and he's like, "Whoa!" But the part where they say, "How do you?" He's smoking, and he's like, "How do you feel?" And he goes, "I feel like a big old slab of butter melting over some flapjacks." He goes, "Why is this illegal? Why? We should be That's fucking hilarious, dude. I feel like a big old slab of butter. This is my favorite scene in the whole movie.
They were supposed to do a part 2, but I don't think they ever did. I'm glad they didn't, because most of the time when they make a part 2 to a movie, especially something that becomes so cult classic, they fuck it up.
They fuck it up.
So
I'm glad that you said this, because I really wanted to ask your opinion, because I know you have strong opinions about sequels and movies. How do you feel about Coming to America 2? Did you see that?
No.
How do you feel about that?
I had no idea. Are they
first
making
thing comes
it?
to your mind. Tell me.
I don't really care.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the first thing that comes to my mind. I haven't seen that in so long. I mean, I remember enjoying it, like where the royal balls have been cleaned or whatever. I love that shit.
I went to the movies with my brother.
Hell yeah.
When I was like 7 or 8 or something, whatever it came out.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, man. I was just curious.
They've announced they're going to be doing that?
I've seen some advertisements.
Eddie Murphy?
Yeah, Eddie Murphy. I think he's going to be in it. Yeah, Eddie Murphy. And I think even
Arsenio Hall. Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Is old dude still alive, the dad?
Who's the
James Earl Jones?
James Earl Jones. I don't know. Is he alive?
I don't know.
That's a good. Siri? No, she's not around. We got her.
Phone's off.
Yeah, I got mine muted. I didn't turn it off. Brave. Okay, well, I was just curious how you would feel about it. If I do I feel like am I talking fast right now?
No.
Oh, because I drank a 5-hour energy like right before we came out here.
I drank, if we want to be honest, I drank 4 ounces of a Diet Coke earlier. And the reason I say 4 ounces, because I know that if I drink too much, that caffeine gets me all jittery and almost angry.
Yeah.
So if I drink half a Coke, it's almost too much. If I drink more than half, then it gets to that jittery for a little bit, and I don't like that.
I have had that happen to me where it's even like I'll drink a 5-hour energy or something and like hang out with somebody and they're like, "Are you okay?
Are you
like,
pissed
you seem
at me?
kind of you seem
Are you
kinda,
gonna hit me?
What's wrong? Why are you acting like an asshole to me?" I'm like, I'm a little.
You ever drink too much caffeine before you go to jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, I don't know about too much, but I definitely
a bunch.
Yeah, I've had. Yeah.
How's that go for you?
It goes pretty good. I just turned it into energy.
I mean, you seem to attack more. Do you seem to get to mellow out and watch more, or more cognitively observant?
Man, jiu-jitsu to me. Did I just say that with a weird accent? Jiu-jitsu is like jiu-jitsu is like a. I don't even really know how I am sometimes when I'm there. Like I really don't. I can kind of go back maybe and look at it, but while I'm doing it, it kind of, we line up and we bow and we talk and joke, and it starts to kind of melt into just this
experience.
Sweat.
Oh, that's cool.
And exhaustion and camaraderie, and you know what I mean? I don't really remember sometimes specifics,
Yeah, very hard for me to remember specifics.
It's just it's a weird, we're all just like,
I'll agree.
We're all sweating all over the place and we're laughing and oh shit, I got choked, you know what I mean? And then when you're oh god.
It's
and then
not me.
Yes. These are brand new cables too.
Brand new pieces of shit. That's brand new broken stuff. Awesome.
This is my favorite stuff. Brand new broken shit. But I mean, it just kind of turns into like an experience to me. And
old slab of butter.
Big old slab of butter melting over a pile of. That's kind of how it feels sometimes.
That's awesome.
And when I'm, of course, there's those moments where it doesn't feel like that if you get hurt or something. But for the most part, you know what I mean? If I have a good jiu-jitsu tonight to me is when I'm done. I'm just like, I don't even know. I'm just exhausted. And I just had a good night. You know what I mean? Come on now.
Yeah, your mic's going out. Yeah, it's back. But it's
okay. What's the
clipping it out.
Oh, God. Everything looks good over there. Oh, well.
You ever ate something you ran over?
No.
Me neither. No. I don't think I have either. Except dog or something, but nothing.
You've had dog that you ran over?
No, not knowingly. No, I've never ran over anything.
Did you not knowingly run over it or not knowingly
ate it? I've never knowingly eaten dog. I've eaten at restaurants that may have served animals.
May or may not have. The rumor
everyone serves it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah.
It may or may not have served the one that was walking around outside just a minute ago. But I've never knowingly eaten dog. I was thinking one day when I was driving, I saw something that looked like it was in the road, maybe roadkill, and it was sort of. Eventually, I figured out it was pine needles, but it was sort of spiky, and it made me think, man, what if that was a porcupine? If I just if we had porcupines rampant here, and I smashed over one, I think I would stop and snatch it out of the road real quick and go home and cook it. You know what I'm saying? Because they come with their own little skewers, anyways. So you just stick them real quick, throw them there, make a little party favors.
You just cut them in cubes and just stick them like I'll make a shish kebab out of it. Yeah,
exactly.
Out of his own skewers.
Yes.
What does porcupine taste like?
I have no idea.
I bet it's. I don't know what this.
I'm trying to wonder
means,
what they eat.
But I bet I don't really know. I bet it would be described as gamey.
Gamey, yeah.
Because they probably just eat.
To me, what gamey is
bugs
it means it tastes like blood. That's what people say, and that's why they soak it for so long. So it's gamey.
Okay.
I think that's what they're referring to. I don't know why. That's why I think. But
have you heard that? Like if I'm fixing to go mess with the mixer because I don't think it's the mic. I think it's the gain knob on the mixer. I'm gonna have to do some tech shit in a minute. Have you heard though, like if you kill a deer or something like that, and it's scared that it makes it taste different?
Yeah, the adrenaline and stuff. And that's why. That's why the idea for hunting for most people should be, and I think for a lot of people is the quickest, cleanest kill possible.
Yeah.
You don't want to have to track it because it's going through a lot. It's stressed out. All these different hormones being released. That's why some pigs. Well, that's the testosterone, the male pigs. But I'm not going to talk out of turn because I don't know a lot about it. But
do they like give them testosterone or something?
No. The males they have they'll catch them. And then they'll cut their balls off and they'll release them because they're producing so much. It makes that meat taste like shit, apparently.
Okay.
Some people eat it, some people don't. But a lot of people complain about it more than me.
So, okay.
That's a tank.
Yeah, it was like a tank or something driving down the street. Let me do this right quick because it's gonna bother me.
No, you good, dude.
But, I don't. Yeah, I just heard it before, so I was curious if it was like a thing or not,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that is, and I would agree completely if we said that. Same thing with us, if you were to scare us and test our blood, there's higher levels of cortisol or whatever hormones in the blood. Yeah. So the same thing is going to happen with these animals.
Yeah.
The same thing happens with that they say with these animals that are factory farmed. They're in these stressful environments all the time,
right?
And so the levels are always there. It's not that it jumps up whenever they're about to get killed. They're just constantly stressed. So that's sort of what we're eating, and all those.
That makes sense.
And it's stored in the fat, which is one good reason not to eat fat you get at a store, which I'm guilty of it. I eat it a lot too. Like if you get a big steak from Walmart.
Which that's pretty much where I would go. Well, unless I go to like a town and country or something. Yeah. But anyway, go ahead.
But that fat, that's where all the hormones are stored. Yeah. Antibiotics. If they take those, if there's some stored in the body still, it's going to be in the fat. That's why they say not to eat a lot of the fat. It's going to be in the meat as well, but the main storage for any living thing like that is going to be fat. So if we kill a fat bastard, in an apocalyptic time, you don't want to. He's been stressed for a while, probably don't eat the fat. Just eat his leg or something.
Yeah.
You ever do that? You ever sitting with your friends and really have to figure out that, okay,
who would you eat?
That's going to be the first one to die because he can fight better than me and he's scared. So he's actually probably planning our death right now because he's so scared he's going to pick us off and make it look like the rest of us did it. You ever sit there and try and figure out how we go down?
No, not quite like that. But I do occasionally, like if I go into a restaurant or a public space or something.
On killing everyone in there?
No. I just size people up, kind of.
Well, someone had a good quote about that. Who was that? A plan. Always have a plan, and Tim could tell us the quote right to kill everyone in the room or something like that.
Yeah.
I forgot. It's like not even gonna try and butcher it, but
it's like didn't it beat stay quiet and have a plan to kill everybody in the room or something, or be friendly.
I think that's a mixture between some hippie shirt and something else. Yeah. I don't know what that is.
Be friendly, but have a plan to kill everybody in the room or something. I don't know. I know what you're talking about.
I think we're
something
close.
Like we're
Anyways, you go in a restaurant, you size people
up.
I'll
just wonder. You know what I mean? And I'm also too always thinking about like I've been in places before and seen a guy and been like, hey man, do you work out or whatever? And, oh yeah, do this whatever. Like, hey, you ever tried jiu-jitsu? Trying to get him. Come do jiu-jitsu.
Well, people like you, for instance, I've seen your physique change since you've been doing jiu-jitsu. So if you go in and you're dressed a certain way, you're very intimidating, I think.
Me?
Yes, just looking at you. If we don't talk to you, if I don't watch you conversate,
really?
Just if you're quiet, it would be kind of intimidating because you look sort of like a smart Jason Statham. You know what I'm saying? So it's like this dude's gonna he can probably kill us. And then you start talking. Oh, okay, I got you. Never mind. He's not a threat anymore.
Yeah,
we don't think
he's a nice guy,
but he's still murderous. But yeah, so like if you ask me,
I guess thanks.
Hey, do you work out? I'm like, not with you. I'm leaving. I don't know what you're trying to get at, dude. This is scary. But
no, I'm not quite so direct about it. I'll strike up a conversation, and just I try to do it with everybody. People that have no business probably trying jiu-jitsu, but if they did and they loved it, they would become,
my sales pitch sucks for the most
part.
What's your sales pitch? The only reason I say this is because 2 days ago I had to go. It was yesterday actually. I went in to sign some paperwork for insurance.
Yeah.
And they went to talking, and a guy knew one of the guys. And he's like, oh, well, do you still do the fighting? Because I used to do MMA. And he asked everybody I haven't seen in a while, asked me, were you still doing the fighting? And I told him, no, just doing jiu-jitsu. And he's like, well, what is that or whatever? And I said, basically, it's just a bunch of grown-ass men wearing pajamas, rolling around, sweating on each other, dude. You know what I'm saying? Which, like I said, if you hate money, then that's how you sell your product.
That's not a very good way to sell it,
the
dude.
more we talked... Later on, I told him, well, it's this. You can use it for self-defense, this, that. And he's like, see, now that's a way better pitch.
Yeah, that's a way better pitch.
That's not my first one.
Yeah.
But,
well, I usually try to, I don't know, man. I try to express all of what it is to me very quickly. Yeah. So if I'm telling somebody about it, I may throw some negative things in there too, be like, yeah, it's really fun. It's self-defense. It's great for, losing weight, getting in shape, increasing your flexibility, but we're basically choking each other and arm locking each other. And all right. And are you interested? Yeah, maybe. What time? Always 7:00. We do it, Monday, Wednesday. And every once in a while, somebody will get their thumb folded backwards, but it's not that big of a deal. It's very rare, just.
Yeah. You were going good. You tried to psych me up.
It's Just like this, just kind of let them know, just in case you're that one guy that shows up and something happens to you that, hey, we are wrestling, dude.
Yeah,
you know, but the better you get at, the better you get at it.
Yeah, I've been doing it for years. I got elbowed right in the mouth the other day. I told the dude just keep going, and he's like, no, he tried to stop. I was like, because he was just about to on my back. I was like, no, just keep going, and then blood starts dripping on the floor. I'm like, all right, let's stop if you don't want blood on you. Fuck.
What happened? What was the?
I had him mounted, and I had his arm almost like in a gift wrap position, to where his arm was pinned by my other arm to his head. Yes, right across his face. And as my knee went across it, it pinched it even more. So he's got a lot of potential energy in there if he's trying to pop it loose, because he can't go any other direction except straight out.
Yeah.
And I couldn't quite lock the triangle there mounted. So I sort of just... I loosened up my grip a little bit so that I could roll, and when I rolled, that elbow just popped straight out, and the back of it just hit me right in the mouth.
Yeah.
And he felt bad. I was like, it just fucking happens, bro. Dude. And no matter how many times you say it, they're still gonna feel bad.
Yeah.
Just like the same. If I hit somebody, I feel bad, even though everybody knows it's accidental.
You
just don't want to hurt people.
Yeah, you don't want to hurt anybody. I went to go reach for Storm around his collar from inside his guard. I was going to kind of just not can opener him, but he was trying to do something, and I was trying to sweep me or change his grip with his legs or something. So I kind of reached for him to scoop his head, and I found that if you can kind of immobilize somebody by the back of their head, I'm not trying to can open anybody, but just kind of pinch them a little bit, that it makes it much harder to accomplish something else with their legs, because they're kind of it's uncomfortable to get in particular situations. And he started doing something, so I reached up to go scoop his head, and I just kind of palm striked him in the side of his cheek. I literally just went boom. And I was like, oh man, I'm sorry. And he was like, whatever, I was like, sorry, dude. I didn't mean to. I literally was like, Wah! I was just trying to scoop his head, but he did something.
Yeah, perfect timing and placement. It's good stuff, man.
It happens.
Have you watched any of the combat jiu-jitsu?
Yeah,
Eddie Bravo's thing where they're slapping each other?
Yeah.
That shit hurts. You know what I'm saying? That shit, if you hit... I remember one of my fights, man. It was my third fight, and we had used these gloves, the padding. If you ever seen like the amateur type gloves, it wasn't fingered completely. It was just this extra padding out here, but this was all open so you can grapple. But usually it was sort of an even pad, an even maybe inch of pad.
Yeah.
This one stuck out like that far. I could still grapple, but the pad was like felt like
big.
2.5, 3 inches long.
Yeah.
So I had this dude pinned up in my corner, and I was punching. Maybe I was in his guard, and I was trying to punch him, and I was thinking, man, this isn't fucking doing anything. You know what? I'm hitting him as hard as I can. And he's just kind of and my doctor, who was the fight doctor, he's a real good friend of mine, and I'm over here. I could hear him, and he said, palm strikes. You're right. So I just fold my hand back, and I start. And you could visibly see I was doing more damage way.
Yeah.
And then punching him.
Yeah.
So you can really create a lot of damage with those palm strikes, and that's just me.
Yeah. You can. And you also don't have to worry.
It's all bone.
You don't have to worry about breaking your fingers.
There's no movement there. It's just fucking bone.
Yeah, man. Oh, hey.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
It's like a tickle fight, man. Something's fixing to happen.
But you can get that. I mean, I've never palm struck anybody, but I can imagine that it would not feel good, and then you don't have to worry quite so much about getting damage yourself.
Yes,
especially if you're wearing a pillow on your hand.
Yeah,
that's fucking and you just couldn't make anything land solid.
It sucks.
Yeah. That was one thing me and you had talked a couple of podcasts ago about doing is talking a little bit more about self-defense, like turtle and guard.
In jiu-jitsu and stuff? Okay.
Yeah, and actually, if nobody had anything today, like Matt brought up triangles, but if nobody had anything today, hey man,
awesome.
He fixed my knee, so
awesome,
whatever.
Good. He's Magic Matt. Magic Matt.
So if he hadn't brought up triangles, I was gonna maybe talk about that, because you had said, maybe we should talk about that a little bit more, just like not being in turtle for very long, or if you are thinking about strikes,
where you're at,
thinking about strikes.
Gotcha. Okay.
Just always remember that if you're ever doing jiu-jitsu and it's not in here and you're not in a tournament, it's probably going to be where somebody's trying to punch you or hurt you. So don't forget, you know what I mean? Don't forget that.
And that's where, and just to not to deviate from that too much, that's where I think no-gi really becomes, and people are going to get pissed off at me, and that's where it becomes a little more applicable, because yes, if we're in the street and we have a shirt, a jacket, you can always use it. But what I mean by that is, in the street, No one's fighting for grips. They're not trying to get certain positions on you. They're trying to hurt you.
Yeah.
And most of the time, they don't know what they're doing, so they're swinging, because that's always the go-to. The go-to is just swing at somebody, grab them, fall on the ground, because I watched a lot of fights, and I used to think about that was weird as kids. I would almost start thinking, how long is it going to take for them to hit the ground?
Right.
And I've seen people swing 6, 7, 8 times, miss everything, hug, go straight to the ground.
Right.
Because it's natural. It's safer.
Yeah.
So what I mean by no gi being more applicable there is overhooks. As soon as we overhook someone's arm and hug it to our body, they can't punch us with that. And we just don't think about that so much when we have the gi, because we have different grips, grab the lapel, whatever. Well, as soon as you overhook, as soon as punches are in play, overhooks become super useful and valuable.
Right, yeah. And then a gi, no gi, it works either way. Yeah, yeah. If you had to, you know what, I wish that they would allow gi in MMA. I know we've had this conversation, but
I'm sure some company out there does it.
I would love to see, like, just to fucking Ezekiel or something. I mean, I just think it'd be cool, or see them get collar choked, whatever. Yeah, I think.
You say that the other day I was watching. I know I brought this up before. Quintet.
Yeah,
they've had 3 events so far. I was watching the first one the other day, and it was team judo versus team what the fuck ever they called each other.
Right.
But the judo guy, he was in the guard, and he got a Ezekiel.
With the gi on?
No, a no gi.
Oh, no gi? Yeah.
Yeah, no gi. He just wrapped that arm around, stuck it across, choked him from inside the guard. Yeah, so you're seeing more of those, and it's pretty interesting. Yeah, I'd like to see
that like gun grip.
Yes,
where you kind of get here, you try to push, you get your shoulder against their head, you push this in the karate.
Yeah,
if you get just in the right spot and you kind of catch their head, and it doesn't feel good, man. I've been there, and I've been on the giving end as well, and it just doesn't feel good,
But I'm with you. I'd like to see at the level now, because it's such a higher level than it was back then.
That's what I'm saying, man. How awesome it would be to just have some dude that's just like, fuck it, I'm wearing a gi. But but wrestling, striking, Muay Thai.
You ever watch Sambo?
Yeah, a little bit.
So they do the upper gi.
Yeah.
They've got the jacket and shorts and shoes on.
And I like that stuff.
Yeah, and they do strikes.
Yeah,
certain types of strikes.
I just like them. Just like sometimes when we go to Christos or whatever, when we do open mat or something. And if everybody's like, "Hey, we're gonna do some no gi," I've just like left my gi on. Like, let's just mix it up.
The difference, yeah.
Let's just see what happens if I have a gi on and you don't.
That's whatever. A good idea.
You know
we
what I
mean?
Just once in a while.
Yeah,
because you never know. I mean, it's just I just want to see what it feels like. Like, how can I do the same things? Are you going to grab me? Am I going to do Ezekiel type?
I just want to see if you're a better kisser than me. Man. Right. I mean, it's not
whatever, man. It is what it is.
I don't feel a certain way, but I just want
to see what happens. Yeah. I don't know, just mixing it up.
Take my back. Yeah, I'm with you though.
And it'd be cool to see somebody like in the UFC like with a gi on.
Like I said, cool. Especially at that level, I would. That's a very interesting point.
Because people would be like, "What the fuck is this guy doing?"
See, now I wonder if there's a way to. Obviously, we're not going to get our idea. Well, you could. It's not that hard. Get your ideas there, but they're not going to do it. UFC's not going to do it.
No.
But they have one FC over in Japan, which is fucking huge. That's like UFC outside of the United States. They're huge. They're the second biggest organization by far. But they may be into doing something like that. There's a few other ones that may, try it. But that'd be interesting.
I wonder if there's any out there. I should probably spend 5 seconds in front of a computer and just Google recent MMA fights with the gi.
MMA with the gi.
If I can just find, there may be some out there like we don't even know about or something. I don't know. This would be interesting to see.
Yeah, it would be fun.
But I also understand the like the UFC like fighting no gi and just everybody's got the same shit on. These are the tools.
Even across the board, minus John Jones.
Right. Yeah, it's okay. Minus minus. Just you all get the same tools, so I think that's kind of cool. But but I like the gi because if one person has the gi on, it can be an advantage or a disadvantage. It just kind of depends. It's just another, you know what I mean?
Did you watch any of the later, let's say the later fights back whenever they were phasing that out in Pride? Because they kept it a lot longer in Pride than they did, because they had these special fights where they would do like specials, like you couldn't. I think one of Krokop's first MMA fights was if it went to the ground, they had to stand right back up or whatever. They had these special rules. Pride was awesome.
Yeah,
Pride it was a fucking freak show, but it was awesome.
Yeah, it was cool. Only thing I like about Pride is that the ring. I just wish they would have done something different than the ring. I guess it's kind of cool, but they just like when they would there's so many highlights of people like falling through the ring or something cool about to happen, but you can't because of the ring, and it was small. It was just it seemed small.
Yeah, they're both a tool.
Yeah,
at some point the ring versus the cage, because cage without the cage there, like Joe Rogan talks about doing it on a football field.
Yeah,
because this becomes a weapon. There's training strictly for how to use the cage to walk, how to get them off of you, how to get keep them from taking your back, all kind of stuff, strategies for you. So it's a different thing. But there was one at Jungle Fights maybe in Brazil. I think I'm bleeding.
Are you bleeding?
Nah, I'm not bleeding. Sure? I'm good.
Okay. I mean, there's a napkin over there.
Nah, I got a shirt. Okay. But where I'm gonna forget who it was. Chuck Liddell was fighting. I want to say it may have been Pele, and they had a net. So they had the 4 ropes, just like in Pride.
Okay.
And then the fourth one is pretty close to the ground, probably 8 inches off the ground, and there was a net between the rope and the ground. Okay. So they couldn't like scoot out from under.
Yeah.
And Chuck Liddell pinned him in the corner, and his head was up in that net, and he was just like a cage.
Yeah.
He was just hammering his ass.
Who was he fighting? Chuck Liddell?
I think he was fighting Pele.
Okay.
But I can't remember. But I mean, you could look it up. It's all over the internet.
So just using it as a tool, basically. Yes. And that's.
Unfortunately, that's going to happen no matter what. I've seen one company. I think they had plexiglass. To where it was just there, and they were doing that for visuals so that you could see better. Yeah. And that's what people don't like about the cage. They say you can't see all that well. The ropes are better. Yeah. There was one company that did basically this fish net. It was wider, almost as wide as a cage, the openings, but it was like this white fish net. So the idea was it would almost disappear when you were looking at it.
Okay.
But they say it was sharp as fuck.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. I'd imagine.
Easy to get cut on it.
Cut on it. Yeah. How did the plexiglass one go? I'm curious about that.
I don't remember. I don't know how. I don't remember watching much, if any, of that. And may have just been a conversation that a higher level company was talking about.
Yeah.
Because I don't honestly. Now that I said it, I don't remember seeing any of that. So it sounds like a movie. So that might have made that up. Might be lying.
That would
fucking liar. I don't know.
You should patent it. Ben's plexiglass octagons. It would. That one would seem to be kind of interesting if you could get.
Like hockey.
Well, I was actually thinking that. But if you could get the runs of the glass long enough between the columns,
all of it.
That you could see really good. And then the whatever.
I think that's a fetish, getting runs on the plexiglass.
I don't know what's going on.
I'm sorry. Plexiglass.
Yeah, no. You could see the fight pretty good. I think if you could get the span between the columns where it was supported at long enough to make sense.
Yeah.
I don't know, because it might get a little bendy.
You got a good point.
But if you did like that fucking like the acrylic shit that they put between you and the bank teller inside, it's like an inch thick. Or
like at the zoo.
Yeah, man. Just do a big old wall,
like an aquarium.
Stuff. Yeah, man. Put them in a fucking aquarium.
Although that's head damage if they fall into it, so you have to worry about all that. It's just too hard. That's the difference between that and the cage.
Well, I mean, it's dangerous, dude. It's fighting.
But let's take out as many risks as we can so we can keep them fighting longer.
Yeah, you're right.
You ever watch fights with some people just in general that don't know it? I understand that. But what's some of the dumbest shit you've heard people say watching fights? If you have a lot, I don't know if you have a lot of experience watching fights in groups or anything like that.
I mean, not really. And most of the people that I do watch fights with usually have some kind of at least general knowledge in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, you ever hear someone say, "Get out of that"? Why isn't he getting out? Why isn't he getting out of that hold?
No,
that's a good fucking question, dude. I don't know why he's not. He must like it.
Let me put you in it to see how it feels.
Because the other guy's fucking holding him.
Yeah, because the other guy's fucking holding him. Yeah, just like you could just at any point go, "I don't want to be here anymore. Stop doing that."
Yeah. Yeah, he's that good. He's just playing with the dude.
Yeah,
I've heard that one. That one. Punch him. Is always great.
Yeah.
Fucking hit him. Awesome. Yeah, he's trying to hit him. And the other guy's trying not to get hit.
That's probably on his to-do list.
There's I would just do this if I were in there. I would just, I'm sure you would. That's awesome. Go to Walmart and practice and let me know how that works out.
That one's not just for fighting, dude. That one, people use that one for
porn and everything.
Everything. All kinds of things. Golf. Yeah, barbecue, whatever.
Yes.
It just that one's. I'd do like this. This is what I do. Okay, good for you, man.
Yeah, almost kind of seeing like this dude. These guys are on. They don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Man. Come on.
If they knew, they would know, but they don't. They don't fucking know.
What else? You got a good list. What else?
The other one was I had someone tell me, why isn't he taking his head and rubbing it on the cage? Why isn't he just like a cheese grater?
Yeah, like it's.
Why didn't he take it? I was like, man, are you fucking kidding me? I don't know why. To be honest, I don't know why he's not doing it, but it's probably the dude might not let him.
Yeah. And what is that going to accomplish? Like, hey,
make me feel like a bully.
Yeah, I mean, just what? That's not going to make him tap or anything. It's just well, true. I guess if you could really,
if you could do it like a cartoon, and you could go back and forth without it fucking tearing his nose off, it might make him tap.
Yeah, true. If you could get that fast motion, but
you can't even do that with cheese. Sometimes they can do that with someone's head.
Yeah, it's fighting back. Yeah, what trained. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. That reminds me of that. I'm sure you have us. I never say his name right. The Boss Rutten. He
used to have a joke real quick. Who's the boss? Rutten. I used to laugh so hard.
I don't think I've ever seen him say that, but I've watched his self-defense video when he's like in a bar, and he's like, if a guy grabs you like this, you just boom, bam, and you just stick his head, you elbow him in the face. It's like, okay, boss.
Is that the one he pulled the guy's head down to the counter and he was manipulating him in certain ways?
Yeah, sort of. I mean, I've seen clips. There's like, there's online they clip together some of the funniest parts.
Great.
But he was telling that story one time.
I was making sure
he was telling that story I think probably on Joe Rogan's podcast, that story of somebody was training or whatever, and somebody came in, and I think he might have been in another country, like these these guys with like a traditional martial arts studio came to his place or something. He was doing self-defense with jiu-jitsu based kind of stuff and like Muay Thai striking, and they came in and one of them, he said some female was like, well, you have, he was showing a rear naked choke, and if we would just poke you in the eye or something. He's like, oh, okay, cool, come here, let me get you in this rear naked choke, and you poke me in the eye, and he says something like, he gets her and he says, okay, now on 3, I'm gonna go ahead and squeeze, and you try to put, and if you poke me in the eye, I'm gonna break your neck. Okay, ready? 1, 2. She goes, wait, what? And he's like, yeah, I'm not just
3.
Yeah, you're not just gonna poke me. I'm gonna go, oh no. He's going, I'm gonna go, bitch, bitch, poke me in the eye. You're gonna be on the ground going
like pigeon.
Yeah.
Oh my.
I don't know. I just thought it just reminds me that story.
It's awesome. You were telling me another one earlier that apparently I didn't see the. Can you explain that one if you remember?
What's that?
The monk, the sidekicking or whatever.
Hafiel had shared that on Facebook. It was. I say monk. He was.
A monkey.
He was he was very traditionally dressed, obviously Asian, had like gray clothes on, tight pants with he just looked like, and there was other people around. It just looked very very traditional Asian culture, almost like it was monkish or something. Does that even a word, monkish?
Now it is.
It is now. And somebody else, it was almost like it was a clip from one of those shows. I didn't do any research on it, but you ever seen those guys that they'll trap their boxer or a kickboxer and they'll go to other countries to experience other fights.
Yeah, okay, I got you.
Martial arts.
Yeah, I used to watch those shows. One was Fight Quest and the other
stuff like
those
that.
are really good.
I have no idea if that's what it is. I could be totally off, but it just looked like that type of situation. And they're standing on some mats or whatever outside. There's a few people around, and the guy, they got gloves on. And the guy goes to they square off, and the Asian guy's just standing there with his hands down, and he goes to fake and throw a punch, and he throws this sidekick out of it's like the Flash threw a sidekick, dude. He's just like, wow, and kicks him in the face, and the guy goes down. I wish we could do what we were talking about earlier. I'll show you in a little bit. Don't let me forget it, because I shared it on Facebook too. But yeah, it was like, fuck, and the guy's like, are you okay? And he's like, yeah. They kind of stand up like they're about to go again. And I was like, dude, don't go again.
Fuck that.
You lost.
Yeah. Well, that I think that lends credence to people want to shit on all those arts. Because it's not this. If you're really good at that, and in some situations that will, if you're quick enough, you're gonna get attacked. Obviously, it fucking works.
Yeah, it does.
That's what's beautiful.
It really is. He had the timing, the space, the distance, the speed, the reaction time,
especially
all
in a
that
situation
stuff.
Like that. They're gonna fight. You're gonna fight.
They were sparring. Yeah.
So now all he's got to do now is depend on his timing, which he practices all the time.
Right. And
cool.
I'll never be able to kick like that guy. Never. So I've got to, hopefully not ever get into a confrontation with that guy, because he would probably beat the shit out of me.
Just hug him.
Yeah, but if we do, I'm going to try to hug you.
Yeah, I'm going to hug him.
I'm going to hug you too.
If we're more than leg length away, I'm just going to run off.
Yeah, just stay leg length, further than leg length away. Hopefully I can, he's not going to get in on me.
Well, you ever watch Stephen Wonderboy Thompson? He's got a good front sidekick. Yeah, that front. And he's so long, and it's a good distance keeper.
This guy throws that sidekick 10 times faster than. It is like it's almost like what?
Well, that's probably if he's a monk. That's probably all he does, and he's just full of fucking cum, and he's just
man,
just waiting to explode on whatever.
Yeah,
and they never get to because all they have is fish, and we've all seen that. But you know,
we've all seen what? What have I seen?
We'll show you later. But, you know, they're just so full of energy. That's all they get to do is kick shit and eat rice and read.
Man.
If they get to read, I think some of those monks, I'd like to go try one for like a week.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I don't think they get to read either, except the Bible or something.
Man, hang on a second. Just keep talking. But I'm just going to fucking get it on my phone and show it to you.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure.
Well,
I'm sure I could find it real quick. It may take me a minute or whatever. We can. I want you to see it.
What's the weirdest food you've ever eaten? You gotta use your phone too.
Weirdest food I've ever eaten. I mean, I don't know, man. I started eating sushi. I used to not really eat raw fish, but it doesn't really bother me more. But that's so mainstream now. It's not even really weird anymore.
I was just wondering.
What about you?
I don't know. Probably nothing. Really.
What's your favorite food?
Chef Boyardee ravioli.
Is it really?
No.
Dude, when I was a kid.
A few years ago. Whenever I first started doing MMA, I was broke still, but I would travel out and right in the fucking face. He looks like he's okay. So they're dressed almost the same, but so he may just be visiting, like you say, because he looks like a Thai boxer. Oh, right in the fucking jaw.
It's just on a loop, so we can watch it one more time.
And so the Thai boxer steps into jab a body shot is what he was going to try to see his reaction.
Yeah, he just, it's...
Right. Let me see.
He goes to fake. He goes fake a punch, and I was just nope, just kicks him in the face. And he changes levels too. So
that's what I'm saying. Which one?
The guy.
That's what I say. He showed a jab, and then he tried to fake a body shot because he was trying to see which one he was going to react to.
Let's do this. Watch this. This will be silly. Here we go. Can y'all see this?
Yeah, so see the guy, he fakes a regular jab, and he's going to change levels to throw a body shot, it looks like, and the guy just timed him and kicked him right in his face.
Watch it one more time.
That was awesome.
One more time so you know what we're talking about.
Once again, me and you, Barrett, I think we can agree we'll never be that good with kicks.
Never gonna kick.
I might be able to get good at kicks, but not that good ever.
It's not just being able to kick the wind. You got to time it.
Timing, yes.
The reaction time, the speed, the fast switch muscle fiber, and all that shit that it takes. It's just.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna be able to do that. I don't want to say never, because that's a bad attitude, but I'm never going to be able to do that.
I will never be able to do it. We will never be able to do that.
If me and that guy get in the kicking match, I'm done. I'm toasted, man. So, yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to show it to you. Javier shared that on Facebook. That's awesome. So I just shared it too. It was kind of cool because I was like, oh, this is not even jiu-jitsu, obviously.
Yeah.
I love any kind of...
Yeah, any of it.
When I was a kid...
Do you watch anything else? Do you watch any other combats?
Yeah, man. I'll watch everything from street fights to Muay Thai and jiu-jitsu matches. Just whatever. I'll watch some fat women brawl in Burger King. You know what I mean? I'm like, look at that bitch, get her bitch. I'll watch whatever. I like watching that stuff because it's real.
Yes.
It's like, okay, this is what happens if a 300-pound woman gets pissed off at you in Burger King at 2 a.m. because you stepped on her foot or something. Okay, that's what she does. That's how she fights. Look out for that.
This might happen too.
Yeah, this might happen to me.
Yes.
They like to pick up chairs and stuff.
Yeah,
okay, cool.
That's interesting.
All right, I got to keep that in mind, So
I remember this one big chick in high school. She freaking she was trying to get at her boyfriend, I guess her boyfriend or something, across the damn table, and she picked up her tray and smashed it and made a shank out of it almost.
Damn.
She swung it at him. I'm sorry. She swung it at him, and when she missed, it hit the table and broke. And then she realized she had a piece in her hand, so she started swinging that.
Jeez. She was like, oh, well, I guess I'll just cut him now.
Real fights are fucking scary and crazy.
Yeah, they're vicious too, man. And that's another thing that I think about too when we're rolling and our faces get really close together and we, because they obviously do. You're trying to hide, you're sneaking in a choke or trying to hide something or just whatever, rolling so our faces get close together. I think about biting and all that stuff too. And if somebody bites a chunk of my cheek off, it's not going to end the fight, but I don't want to lose a chunk of my cheek.
It's going to change some shit.
Change some shit.
Right then and later, shit's changing.
We're biting cheeks off.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like that. I didn't know we had that rule. Now I'm going to use it.
Yeah, I didn't know.
What the fuck? Yeah, that would suck, dude. That would suck.
Talking about that scene in Harlem Nights with Jared the other day.
Harlem Nights.
The scene where Eddie Murphy, they're gangsters in like the 20s in Harlem. You never seen Harlem Nights? Well, then never mind. But for Jared out there, you know what I'm talking about. There's a scene where he kind of gets in this little scuffle with this older lady. This, like, you know, she's like I can't remember what her name is, but they're in the back, and he hits her. He thinks like he's just laughing at her.
Is she like a gangster lady?
No, she's like the head of like the girls
gang.
You know what I mean? Like not the gang, but like the girls that are there's like the burlesque type girls and all that.
Oh, okay.
She's like the mama of that kind of thing or whatever, and they get in a little scuffle, and he's laughing at her, and she winds up like throwing a couple of jabs and like knocking him down, and so he picks up a trash can lid and hits her, and she goes, "Oh, we hitting people with trash cans now," and she pulls out a knife like a switchblade. He goes, "No, I gotta cut you." It's a funny scene, dude. He pulls out a little snub nose 38, and he's like, "Don't you, bitch! I'll shoot you." He says, "I'll shoot you," or whatever. It's an hilarious scene, man. I can't believe it. I was leaving the other day, and somehow that came up. Me and Jared just kind of knew the scene, and we started doing it together, like while I was leaving. Anyway, that's
awesome. I'll look that up. That's awesome.
I can't believe you've never seen Harlem Nights, dude.
I don't think I have.
Man, that's Arsenio Hall.
You said Eddie
Murphy, dude. I mean, just
is it a comedy?
Yeah. I mean, it's
Maybe
like a drama. It's like a drama comedy from like the
same era,
90s or something. You know.
Huh.
Yeah, man, Tommy Guns and like the whole black like Harlem gangster scene from the 20s. I mean, that's what it's supposed to be. Yeah.
Huh.
Check it out, dude. It's hilarious. I just can't believe you've never seen it. It's like huge. But anyway, so
what's the last good movie you've watched? Like I said, I threw out on the message board the other day. I just wanted to think, or whether it was movie. Yeah, I said
the TV show,
TV show or movie, anything. I just want to think for some reason. I want something to.
Yeah, because you said something about like sci-fi or something.
Yeah, it's sci-fi or just anything. Technology. It could be fantasy. It could be just a thriller, suspense thriller. Because I used to love watching all those.
I'm trying to think. What have
I've heard the Royale Casino, no, not the casino. Night at the
Bad Times at the.
Yeah. I heard that's really good. It's a think. I heard it's a. Please don't spoil it because I've got that on my list to never watch.
Yeah. No, it was a little slow and long, but it was a good movie. I really wasn't that slow and long. It just, you kind of
see, that's what gets me now. Whenever they say long, if I look at the length, if it's over 2 hours, I almost never try to watch it. I don't know why.
I say that, man, but it really was. I mean, right towards the very end, it was like, okay, let's get this over with, But it was a very good movie. It had some cool little twists and stuff in it. It was interesting character kind of interaction and all that,
That's why.
It was a good movie. Yeah, it was a good movie.
Did you watch the Hotel Artemis? I think it was like a hotel with a bunch of assassins went to. It was a comedy. I think Galifianakis was in it.
Oh, really?
But it looked funny.
I didn't see that. I'm trying to think if I saw the previews.
Maybe watch that. I don't know.
I'm not a big movie. I mean, I'll go every once in a while or something, but
no, I'm definitely not going to the movies to watch anything.
Oh, you don't like going to the movies?
No, I'm not spending money. It has to be expensive. It has to be a cinema. Well, for one, I'm not going there to watch people talk to each other. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But if it were something like Avatar.
Yeah,
Avatar. It's made for the cinema. It's a big. You want to see it in the theatrical sounds and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But if it's just like Fight Club, I love Fight Club, but it's still nothing that it's not going to be any better than on my TV.
Yeah.
It's just not going.
I know what you're saying.
So
yeah.
I'm not
going to pause it and go piss and make
Transformers maybe.
Yeah.
Because it's what it's made for. Speaking of Transformers, I turned Bumblebee on for my son last night, and it's like set in the 80s, I think.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either, so I turned it on. But
you said Avatar a minute ago. You were talking about big experiences. Have you? You haven't been to Disney World?
Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah,
been?
we went. In
November. That's right. You went not long ago.
Avatar was fucking
awesome. You did the flight?
Oh yes, the flight of Pandora.
Did you look over the edge?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, man, we were doing it, and the way they set you up. I don't spoiler alert for everybody out there. I mean, I won't say too much, but the way they set you up, you don't realize it. But we were. You're just kind of locked in that little thing. Not really. You just kind of straddle in this little thing, and you feel like you're flying. And there's this gigantic screen. And I remember my kids and my nieces and my niece and my daughter and my son were like in the next little room. And I kind of looked over at them, And I was looking around like, this was really fucking cool. And I kind of leaned and looked down, and we were like 7 stories up. It was like the scene in The Matrix when Neo wakes up and he looks over the edge and there's like people all stacked in the things.
Yeah.
I looked over and there's all these other rooms of people, and I was like, man, I'm like 100-something feet off the ground and just barely strapped into this thing, like leaning over the edge.
I don't know about you. I felt pretty damn snug in that thing.
I was snug, but I didn't really get scared that I was going to fall out. No. It just seemed, I was like, wow, I didn't realize, because you're not really paying, there's so much shit going on in front of you. I didn't really look at anything else, you know? And then I was like, Jonathan, like in the middle of it, I was like, Jonathan. He looked there and I was like, look. And he looks down and he was like, holy shit. It just, it's just weird because you don't notice it. Yeah. It's the immersion of it is so good that you don't even realize that you're on this gigantic ride with all these other people, you know, unless you really pay attention to it.
I had a blast. The whole Avatar portion, the whole world was awesome. Yeah,
it was fun, man. It was one of the coolest rides I've been on in a while. Yes. Just the technology.
For me, that one was the best one.
The queuing, the way they did the lines, it kept you interested. Yeah. You went in the little room when they went through. It was just, but I kept thinking, like, no wonder this goes slow. But when we got on the ride, there was hundreds of people on it. You just can't see them, you know? Mm-hmm. Anyway, but yeah, that was fun. I don't know. What's the best movie you've seen recently?
To be honest with you,
I think what the last thing I went and saw was, I want to say I went to the movies not long ago, but I can't remember what I saw. Oh, I went and saw, hey, don't you go out on me. Not that I'm super into these, but it was Aquaman.
Yeah, how was that? Because I heard, spoiler alert.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I heard that a few people, one person, I'm not going to say any names, you know who you are, said it was the best superhero movie ever.
Yeah.
And my first thought when I heard they were coming out with it was, man, that's going to be a hard sell.
Yeah.
Aquaman's always had this connotation of being gay. Nothing wrong with that. But he's sort of a flamboyant, not that I ever watched him, but everybody, you say Aquaman and people, that's just where their brain goes.
Yeah. All right. No, it actually was. I don't care for those type of movies. I just got invited by somebody. I would have never have gone to see it, but for superhero movies and like just the experience of the pretty colors and the sound and all that.
That's a good example.
It was really, really good.
That's a good example to go to the movies to see because that's what it's made for.
Yeah, and the very first fight scene in the movie was I was like, wow, this is fucking cool because I listened to the sound and stuff. You know what I mean?
Things keeps falling. Maybe you need to tighten up.
Yeah, I'm gonna tighten it up right here. I listen to the sound and stuff. You know, I just think. Like the story, I'm not even really paying attention to the story. I'm just thinking, like, man, how did they make that sound, and how are they recording their voice so clear? You know what I mean? Like,
you know, a story's good when you're paying attention to
because I'm not into superheroes though. If you're into superheroes, but yeah, the very first fight scene, like this super. Elite force, Atlantean force with like plasma water rifles, like comes out of the sea.
Wow!
And they go into this little small like a lighthouse with a little house that the guy lives at, that the caretaker of the lighthouse, and Nicole Kidman's got her trident or whatever. And
how old is she now? Like 80?
I don't know, but she
looks
looked
great
good.
for 80,
she looked great in the movie.
With all due respect.
She, I'm sure there's a lot of digital technology being applied there.
I think it's just steroids. They rub it on their faces. Steroids, and semen, or whatever it takes.
They just bathe in semen and testosterone and
semen. Just rub it on your face, on your body. It tightens everything up.
Their showers. That's what comes out of their shower. I don't know, man. And then there's probably still some digital technology going on. But it was just the sounds of them shooting the guns, like pew, pew, and the stuff blowing up. It was cool.
Once again, that's the reason you want to go to the movies.
He was like, "You want to go see Aquaman?" I was like, "No, but I'll go. I'll go."
You don't want to go see 12 Years a Slave?
No.
Great story. I don't give a fuck if it's 50 feet on the screen.
I can watch it on my phone if I want to watch it. But this was kind of cool. And they're like flying through the water and stuff, and there's a bunch of cool scenes like that.
Yeah, I've been trying to get my son to watch it, but every time I bring it up, he tells me no. So I just wanted to see how cinematic it was, but he didn't want to watch it, so I don't.
He didn't want to go see it.
Well, no, I mean on TV.
Oh, okay.
Annihilation. Did you watch that? It come out of maybe last year sometime.
Or is that the one where like the big thing alien ship like parks itself and it's just sitting there?
No, that's Arrival.
What am I saying? Oh, is that the one?
Annihilation, where it's the barrier.
They have to
go into the barrier.
It's weird in there. Time changes and all that stuff. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
So at the end, it was almost like this.
I don't remember the end, but go ahead.
It was a faceless form, sort of mimicking her movements with her, It was very confusing.
Yeah.
I
she
almost
goes
had
down the little tunnel,
yes.
and I was like, "What is the
no
deal with
idea
this tunnel?
how it ended or why it ended that way?" And maybe I should. I don't know, smoke a lot of weed and watch again, eat some mushrooms, watch again, really figure out what the fuck's going on.
Yeah,
but
do a couple lines of coke, maybe trip some too.
All kind of ways. just try it in different forms so that you can figure out. No, not all at the same time. Jesus.
Oh dang! Oh, okay.
No, I mean,
man,
like,
just go for broke, man. Just everything. Get drunk, stone, trip.
If I do all that, I'm not sitting
MDMA.
anywhere. I'm not doing it. I'm gonna go climb a fucking tree.
Salvia. Just go crazy right there in the middle of the fucking movie.
I mean, just separately. Just some mushrooms, watch it, see what you come up with.
Like
some weed, watch it, see what you come up with.
You've seen those guys that will like paint a picture while they're high, paint a picture while they're on LSD, and paint a picture while they're drunk, and like a self-portrait or something.
Okay, yeah, I've sort of heard about it. I don't guess I've ever actually looked at it.
They're always on like Facebook and stuff.
Oh, cool. No, I haven't seen it on Facebook or anything. Anyway, the book. I watched the movie. I said, I want to know. I want to read this book and see if that was because I knew there was a trilogy. I wanted to see if
I didn't know
if the movie encompassed the trilogy or if it was just the first book or whatever. First off, I had to drag my ass through that book. I could not get into it.
Really?
Could not get into
just the writing style?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
It just felt like both my legs didn't work and I was having to pull myself. It just felt so forced. And so I'm not going to read the other two. And I have no idea what the fuck was going on.
Okay, so you didn't even...
I think it was so out there that, once again, you have to read a few times and really, man, look at it. Really, trying to figure out what the fuck's going on in his brain. It was
a interesting movie. I mean, I enjoyed it for sure.
I did too.
And it had some interesting concepts in it. I think I actually saw that one at the movies too, which is weird. I don't go very often, but that's weird. You brought one of the ones I went and saw, but I actually don't even remember. Yeah, okay. So the end, there's the thing mimicking her.
Yeah, in the lighthouse.
It's in the lighthouse.
Sort of fighting, but they're moving the same way,
right?
And then it just goes to these color, like a Tool video at the end. It's just these colors and blending to back and forth out of shit, and the credits come up, and it's just weird music.
You're like, oh, okay. I don't really know what happened.
All right, fuck,
sweet.
Yeah, damn it. That's one of the most recent ones I saw that was good. Obviously, recent's the wrong word for that because I think it was like April or some shit. I watched that. But,
that was a while back when it came out.
Night Stalker. Have you ever seen that with Jake Gyllenhaal?
Yeah, where he's the crime
creep.
The crime.
Yes.
What does he do? Photographer.
Video records it or whatever. Yeah. And sells it to the news. It was a good movie, but he was fucking creepy, and that movie made me think he could play a good Joker. Probably.
Yeah. Okay,
wouldn't be as good as Heath Ledger, but I think he'd be a good Joker.
That was a pretty interesting movie. I saw it on Netflix.
Yeah.
I was one of those ones I just, for whatever reason, was just bored one day, flipping. It was probably 2 or 3 years ago because that's been out a while. I was just flipping through it. And I was like, "What is this?" And I just kind of read the description and watched it. And I was like, it kind of just captured me. And I watched the whole thing. I hardly ever do that. 15 minutes into a movie, like if I'm sitting at home, I'm like, okay, I don't want to sit here. Yeah, well, I just don't want to sit there that long. I feel
like I'm wasting time.
Yeah, I just want to kind of. I mean, I may sit there, but I'm also I can't just like not like I'll pull out my phone and read or something like that. I think about it, just man, I'm getting hungry or whatever. I just can't sit there for I don't know, but it was still good though.
Yeah.
It was
that one. I remember seeing the commercial and thinking one thing, and whenever I watched the movie, I was, that is different. No idea it was going to be about that. So that was cool.
Yeah,
to have. Like I said, it was a really good movie. I thought it was one of the better movies I've seen in a while.
Yeah.
So.
Did you say what your favorite food is? Did I ask you that earlier?
Favorite food? No, I think we talked about weirdest foods.
Weird.
Oh, yeah, you did ask favorite food and I didn't answer you.
What is it?
I said ravioli. I don't really know. I like a lot of stuff. I eat a lot of vegetables and meats. Elk is really good.
I've never had elk.
Elk is really good. I guess anything can be good if you cook it right. But
maybe. I don't know, maybe.
Man, I don't know if I have a favorite food. That's sort of getting harder to say as I get older. I have a favorite thing because favorite would imply that I would eat it all the time, and a lot of shit I just wouldn't. I do eat a lot of chicken. Man, I tried this. Was it some chain buffet in
town,
Alabama or something coming through?
Yeah,
and I'll remember the name later. It was big, nice Asian buffet. I mean, it was almost. Just everything was nice. It was shiny. It looked like pearl and shit everywhere.
Yeah.
Very nice buffet. And they had a bunch of different foods, but they had a seaweed salad there. And that first time I ever had that, and that was so fucking good. I ate about 3, no shit, big ass plates of that. No shit.
Oh man, I'm not a big fan of that stuff.
Seaweed salad?
Yeah.
See, I've heard Saki Sushi has some good seaweed salad. Now, after that, I've heard that.
It's good for seaweed salad. It's just not my thing. I've tried it. It's just not my thing.
Well, see, that's why I eat a lot of vegetables, and not to. I talk about the big plates is because I'm going to eat a lot of food no matter what.
Yeah, you tell.
And if I eat vegetables, it's going to be way better than eating a lot of pasta or cheesecake, whatever. That's why I don't eat rice, is because it's going to fill me up. My leg is going to stop working because I ate too much, and I don't know if I'm going to shit my pants. So if I eat a lot of vegetables, I'm definitely going to shit my pants, but I'm not going to be stuffed like that. I'm not going to be bloated.
Yeah, I got you.
I can get away with a lot more.
Man, I'm actually kind of getting hungry. Did you eat dinner?
What are we eating? Dinner?
Man.
No, I have not eaten dinner, but yeah.
I'm getting kind of hungry. I don't know, man. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I had like tater tots and a sandwich.
That sounds disgusting. I haven't had tater tots, and so not that they're bad by any means. I asked my daughter earlier.
I get in the mood for them.
I asked my daughter, "You eat tater tots?" And she goes, all right, no, not buying those. Just trying to get a feel for it. Because I'm always trying to change what I'm giving my kid, just to give them variety. And my son eats fucking hot pepperonis every day for lunch. I throw them in the microwave, hot pepperoni, throw them in the microwave for like 60 seconds. It crispies them up a little bit. Yeah. Throw them in his lunchbox every fucking day for lunch. Hot pepperonis.
That's what he wants.
Hot pepperonis. Hot pepperonis. Unless I grilled chicken the night before, he calls it black chicken because when you grill
it makes it all black.
And I'll cut it up and send him some.
Chicken.
Yeah, I like black chicken. My favorite. My favorite. Oh, good, dude. Good. I'm glad you like it.
Yeah, man. Sometimes I just want like a turkey and cheese sandwich and a plate of tater tots, and that's kind of what because I can throw the tater tots in the oven when I get home, like kick the oven on, throw them in there, and like go, take a shower, clean up, do whatever I'm doing, and then 30 minutes they're ready to go. Just mayonnaise, cheese, turkey. Yeah, maybe toast a little bit. Squirt some ketchup on the plate. Sit down.
I don't eat ketchup either.
Oh, really? Why?
I don't fucking know. Probably got all the sugar in it. I'm sure there's a reason somewhere in my brain.
You came up with something. Yeah, you just can't
I made the best barbecue sauce so far because I make my own barbecue sauce.
Oh, yeah.
And I made the best batch the other day. I changed a few little things, and this is pretty fucking hit.
What do you use as the base?
It's tomato paste and vinegar and water. So that's gonna be your base, and you add some spices and liquid smoke and stuff like that. And what I changed was how much. Yeah, you hear that?
No, I was actually just looking at the camera. What did you hear? Did you hear something?
I don't know. A humming just started, but it went away. Maybe it was just the pressure in my brain changed. I don't know. Yeah, there we go. It was that monk that kicked that dude in the face.
I don't know. We don't have any name. We don't have any visitors.
Nah.
Okay. All right. Go ahead. But barbecue sauce, homemade barbecue sauce.
Yeah, I use tomato paste and some vinegars. But what I'm adjusting now is I put a little more mesquite liquid smoke. This time I usually use hickory, I think. Mm-hmm. And I used mesquite last time, but this time I doubled up the mesquite and I changed up the type and amount of sweetener. Okay. So that's going to change a lot of it. The spice versus the sweet changes up. The taste of a lot of things. So.
I like coming up with like dipping sauces. And stuff. I like the dip, man. Like when we go someplace or to eat.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah, French fries or something like that, and they're like, "We have 6 different dipping sauces." I'm like,
I'll take them all.
I'll take them all. Just whatever you got. Just bring me some blue cheese too. Like, I'll just make my own little combinations. I love that stuff, man. I love dipping sauce. So every once in a while we'll make something. I'll raid the fridge and be like, okay, we got honey, we got a little cherry juice, we got. Do
you prefer sweeter or spicier or saltier? Savory, I think, is the word for salty.
Savory is what I prefer, but it's.
Is that referring to saltiness?
Sweet and savory kind of.
Okay.
No, it's like.
You hear that?
I do hear that. What's that? Is that plain? I think it's plain.
Maybe. I have no idea. I'm sure you're right. And it'll go away in a second. If we both hear a train, maybe a train. We're close to a train track, aren't we? I don't fucking know.
I think it's a plane.
All right.
It's plain. It's a plane. I don't know, man. I guess maybe savory is on the way to salty, but not quite there or something. I don't know. I've never ever.
Anyway, back to what you made.
I've probably said savory 1,000 times in my life, but I've never even considered what does it really even mean. I had some friends one time get in an argument about a word. I can't remember exactly the context. I remember they were in a band. They were going to play that night. We were at the bar, like in the little green room thing or whatever. Like they were kind of getting ready, and somebody said something, and the other guy said, "That's not even a fucking word." And he said, Well, I mean, at one point, there were no words at all. I mean, somebody had to come up with every fucking word. So, fuck you, I just made up a word, you know? And he was like, you can't just make up a word, fuck you. And they kind of, it's the stupidest argument. Yeah. The guy was like, who are you telling me I can't make up a word? You know, I can make up a word. You can make up a word. I'm not trying to keep your creativity locked down. What's wrong with you? What you got?
Was this?
You got childhood issues or something? Just going back and forth with each other. It was hilarious.
Either one of them the singer?
One of them was the singer, and the other was a guitar player.
Had you watched them before a lot, and did that affect the performance? You think?
No, they were perfectly fine with it.
Because you wonder what has to go down to affect those performances. Because like I've heard comedians say, like if you're in a shit mood, it comes through to the crowd, and you're just gonna bomb almost. You just won't identify the timing, and the delivery will be off and all that shit. Just if you're in a bad mood.
Well, man, the interactions and the relationship between like band members is especially like big bands, you know, that like make a lot of money and all that. I mean, it's a weird, you know, a lot of times we think that there's just like, you know, they just get along and play music together and have fun time.
Misconception.
But man, they got schedules, touring, practice, and then on top of that, there's millions of dollars. I mean, like a big, like Metallica or some, just whatever, big band.
Even not, it's a livelihood for the most part. It's livelihood. It's fucking the way you live.
Yeah, and those interactions are kind of a weird. Because it's not always as nice as you think it is.
Well, you know, Lamb of God, you talk about that. He doesn't, the singer, Randy Blythe, doesn't drink anymore, supposedly, but he used to be hammered ass drunk. And that's how they got signed the first time, is he got really hammered, and he was, he said he heard that, I think one of the reps from Paramount was there.
Oh, yeah?
And so they're like, we got to do a good fucking show. Apparently, he was drunk, and he fucking fell off the stage and knocked himself out. In the third song or something like that. Eventually, that's what got him signed, was this show. And you're just, and some of these things it's weird.
How did that work out?
I guess they were like, these dudes are so fucking crazy, and the music's good. They've got that thing.
They've got just whatever.
You know, it's just because he fucked up and fell down.
Yeah.
You know, but he used to get so hammered, and I think the guitarist there's video out there of him like getting a fight and beat the shit out of him, knocking him out and hitting him a few times while he's still out. So that's lends credence to what you're saying. There's a lot of, it's a dynamic relationship.
Yeah.
And I mean, not for the better sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, we've even like talked about this with like just you remember the text I was with you and Philip the other day, like how are we going to handle that? You know, just those things that come. It's weird how quickly that stuff kind of comes up. Just like talking about like you know what I'm talking about. That not that it means anything. We have to go into the details, but just that kind of stuff. Not a disagreement or anything, but you just kind of you want to think about those things so that you can because it's always there. You have no, you know what I mean? And, it's just, but those relationships, it's weird how they just thinking about, like livelihood and scheduling and how the
jealousy.
Road jealousy, being away from your family, all that stuff, man. It's hard on people.
Yeah,
and it's great too. Some people take it in strides.
Well, yeah, and a lot of people do very well. I don't think they get the credit they deserve. Because a lot of people it's that one hit. That's what they think of every time you think of Metallica. You think Enter the Sandman or whatever. When there's just so much more in it. They've gone through so much together. And
there was a cool. I don't know why Metallica was on my brain. There was a like suggested videos on YouTube, and one of them was like the making of some song for some new album in the studio, and it was just scenes of them for like 30 or 40 minutes.
That's pretty interesting stuff.
I like
watching
that
some
stuff,
of those.
Man. They're sitting in the control room, and and he's like, "What about?" It just cuts to him, and they're like, during this part, da da da, and then they go back and they record it, and then they're fucking around. And I fucked up, and they got to start over. It was just cool watching them do it.
Yeah,
and then
it makes them a little more relatable.
Yeah, they're like real people. Yeah. Kurt Hammett was like sitting on the couch, like trying to figure out like a solo for the thing, and he was like, I don't like that,
just dicking around.
Yeah, just dicking around. It was writing. The guy sitting there with his notebook, like writing lyrics and stuff. It was kind of, I was like, oh, that's kind of cool, man. It shows that they're like in their 50s and they're still.
That's what they do.
Working.
That's what they do.
That's what we do. That's what
even if they didn't get paid, that's just what they can do now in life.
Yeah.
That's an interesting thing.
And then I like the studio was cool because the really nice. Mixing board and all, just any kind of equipment you could probably imagine. I mean, unlimited budget, but they were still just using like a couple of laptops to record too. Basically, so they were cutting in and out and doing A beat, punching in, solos and stuff, and that was kind of cool just to see the equipment and everything that they were using, the microphones and all that. But the real story was just like you said, this is what they do, and they're still doing it. They weren't. I'm sure they probably over the years have probably beat the shit out of each other a couple of times, you know?
Yeah, I've no doubt that they're. Yeah, that's what.
Yeah, they just got past it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was cool.
Have you ever seen the to change gears just a little bit?
So,
There's a short documentary that I think Comedy Central made is how the South Park guys Trey Parker and Matt Stone make an episode in 7 days.
Yes. There's a little short documentary.
Good, yeah,
it's like a lot of them in the.
It's crazy. They can make that shit in 7 days.
Yeah, they're like in the conference room, all spitballing ideas and going through this recording. Yeah, I have seen some of that.
Fucking crazy.
It's neat. That creative process is.
And those dudes are awesome.
Have you ever seen?
Those dudes are so fucking awesome.
Have you
so
ever
smart.
seen the conspiracy theory that those two guys are the Columbine shooters? Was it Dylan Roof? Not Dylan Roof. What was the guy?
Klebold, maybe?
Klebold and have you ever seen that? That
Eric,
was
Eric Harris.
Yeah. Have you?
No, I've never heard that they are also they're the shooters.
Yes.
Is that the? Oh,
yes,
nice.
that's the conspiracy theory. That was one of those ones. One time, I know, dude. It was one of those one time where, and I know we've talked about this, but I was like, and I've told myself I'm going to stop saying that. I'm going to stop saying, I know we're talking about this, and just talk, you know what I mean? Instead of acknowledging what I've talked about. Now I'm acknowledging what I've talked about, that I've talked about. Anyway, thing that makes me hate the internet and love it all at the same time. I saw that one day a couple of years ago, and I was like, what? So of course I clicked and watched a couple of things, and and then a few minutes into it, I was like, I'm not putting this in my brain anymore. I've already wasted enough time.
Yeah, that's a good thing to know. When to stop filling your.
I wanted to keep going, though. Yeah. I wanted to keep watching.
But you know that it was pointless.
Yes.
On some level, you decided, nope, no more in this cup.
I don't know if I thought that it was pointless. I think on some level I thought, I don't want this to corrupt,
that is the wrong word.
My brain anymore.
Yeah, that's the wrong word.
Pointless may work, but that's not the path I took with the thought process.
Yeah,
it was more like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Adding that darkness or whatever it is. Adding these emotions. I don't need to invest in that. I got you.
And it's like that sometimes with just shit on the internet or whatever. I go like, fuck, man, what? Come on,
something I've really been wanting just to read up on is the flat Earth thing.
Really?
I know there's supposed, and I have them noted who the good people are. I can't remember their names right now, but I want to look into that. I want to see their legitimate arguments for it, their evidence, their whatever, just to see how solid it is.
I
haven't got myself to do it yet.
Yeah, it's one of those things that there's probably undoubtedly, is that a word? There's
undoubtedly.
I don't know. There. I'm sure there's some information out there that if you watched it, you would be like,
pretty legit.
That's interesting. Never thought about it like that. But man, that one's kind of like. I've seen other planets through telescopes. They look round to me,
Why do they look
spherical?
round to you?
They look spherical. Well, because for one, you can see the moon through a telescope, and if you look at the moon at 500 times or 900 times, I think we might have talked about this. Here, I just said it again. Yeah. You can see you can look at the edge of the moon, and you can literally see it kind of disappearing over, where it turns from. Where the dark goes to the dark side of the moon. Mm-hmm. You can see the craters if you look at it a powerful enough telescope. You can see that it has this dimension that's disappearing off into the distance. You can see the craters over the horizon and stuff like that. If you look with a very powerful telescope. So
one of the things of evidence that I heard was it's always the same. I've never looked at it close enough, but does it ever look like it's moved? This crater's always in the same spot. It's like it's the same one every time. Does it always look the same?
Well, the moon it always shows us the same face, and I don't know exactly why they say that is, but I want to say that this is either my theory that I'm making up right now, but I probably heard it somewhere that the moon came into being because some large object millennia ago hit the Earth.
Yeah, I've heard that theory as well.
Maybe even another planet, ran into each other, and then the shit got all swirled up together, and eventually it congealed into the moon. So that's kind of why it used the Earth slowed it down. It slowed the Earth down to this point to where they are kind of going the same speed. So it always shows. It always rotates with the face.
It's always going to show the same.
Right.
I got you.
That's kind of where I think that comes from. The reason it does. But I've also seen Saturn through. Man, that was a psychedelic experience. The very first time I saw Saturn through a telescope.
Were you completely sober?
I was. Yeah, I think I was. Yeah,
That's
and
cool.
I was like speechless.
That's awesome,
man.
I love that.
Gorgeous night in my backyard. Had a telescope, and I used this program called Stellarium. I think you can get an app on it, but I had it on my computer at the time. This was like maybe 10 or 12 years ago, maybe not quite that long, 10 years ago probably. And you put in your GPS location, and you can see where everything is and how it's, at 11 o'clock, this is where this is going to be. And I was like, where's fucking Saturn going to be at this particular time? So I found it, okay, it's right there. So I walk out my back door, it's going to be off in that direction. So the night comes, I set the telescope up, I aim it, I get a few things ready for it. And it's so difficult to keep something in a telescope because you're zoomed in so far, and the Earth, if it's round, is spinning on its axis. Mm-hmm. So as soon as you see something, it's just gone. Even when you look at the moon, as soon as you're like, man, look at the moon, and it's so big and it's right there, but you can see it, it's just moving out of the viewfinder, and the farther you zoomed in, the faster it moves through the viewfinder because, you're looking at a smaller and smaller area of space. And walk outside, you can see Saturn. You can't see it with your naked eye. You can see the light, but you can't see any detail. So I'm just looking, okay, that's probably it right there. It's one of those. There's 3 or 4 things. It's probably that one. So I set it up, and I get the spotter scope on it, and I'm messing with the shit. And all of a sudden, this little thing goes through the viewfinder, and I was like, oh, I think that was it. I think that was fucking Saturn. So I'm trying to find it, man. And all of a sudden, it goes back. And I was like, whoa. That was fucking it. I saw a ring that time.
Now, is it moving because of it just moving, or are you like trying to?
I was trying
find
to
it?
I was trying to
So
find
you were
it.
moving.
Yeah, I was
okay,
moving the up and down and the left and right.
Gotcha.
It
You were just panning past it.
Actually, kind of moves in an arc, and it kind of moves like this and up and down, and I just passed it.
Gotcha.
And I finally because when you're zoomed in 900 times,
yeah. It's like
just
a microscope.
you go like this, and it goes, you're seeing huge swaths of the sky. So I finally, man, just got it dialed in, and it kind of came into the viewfinder, and I was like, you can see the rings disappearing around the other side of it looks spherical to me. So if everything else looks spherical, and the visual, the visual of it looks spherical. Unless it's all just fucking painted up there or whatever, and it's all fake. I don't know. Yeah. You know what I mean? So if all the other heavenly bodies are spherical, like why wouldn't we be, I guess? And then, I've made sundials and stuff before too, and shadow moves in an arc. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It just seems... I've been rambling for a while, but I know that I would. But I have looked at a little bit of flat earth stuff when it got big, about a year ago. And you watch a couple of minutes of something, and you're like, I don't know. I never thought about it like that. But that's
well, that's the main reason I wanted to look it up, just because I like to hear those viewpoints that make me say, "Oh shit, I didn't even think to look at life from that
point of view."
That's cool. And that may change the way I look at other things. That may help me out somewhere, even knowing that this thing I'm looking up, there's no fucking way leprechauns are real. But I like what you're saying. I like the way you're saying it. I'm going to apply that over here to unicorns. Yeah. So that's why I just haven't looked into it yet. I really want to, but I only got so much time.
Yeah, it's a rabbit hole, man. That like I said, I'm sure you'd probably get something interesting out of it. But do you want to devote that time? I don't know. Do you think the Earth is flat?
I don't think so. No.
Yeah.
No, but that's just. It may just be because I'm too dumb to realize it.
Yeah.
I don't know that.
Yeah. I've never walked it or flown around it.
I had a buddy one time to say, he said that I don't believe in whales. I've never seen one in real life. All right. That's cool. That's cool, dude. I can't argue with that logic.
It's hard to argue.
Never seen a blue whale in real life. There's no reason for you to think it's real.
Sure. Yeah.
Just like for me to say I don't believe The Rock is real. Never seen him. Never seen him in real life. Well, this person has. I don't give a fuck.
Remind me to tell you something in a second. But there's so many examples where you can be like, well, have you ever seen a shark?
Probably, yeah.
You know what I mean? Okay, well, was there a point in your life when you had known about sharks but never seen a shark? Yeah. Okay.
See?
Yeah. Sometimes it works that way.
Assume some other stuff might be real.
Yeah.
Outside your fucking 3 feet of perspective there.
Dude, you said you've never seen The Rock. I was looking through Popular Mechanics.
You met The Rock.
I know, I've never met him. No. He punched me in the face. No, I made fun of his kneecaps. Anyway, I was looking through Popular Mechanics and like their technology section on their website, just skimming through. And of course, there was their technology news section. So of course, there was a bunch of AI shit and all that stuff. And one of them was, China has come up with it was a fake news broadcaster, and it was powered by AI, but you could not tell the difference. I mean, I was even thinking this is a real person. They're just trolling. They're just saying it's AI, not real. But I read the article, and it's like he's totally computer generated, and he's like, "Hi, my name is Jing Zhong. I'm based on this other newscaster who is a real person, but I'm actually an animated sequence of pictures from him, and this voice you're hearing is all AI."
They take all the sound bits in different levels, and it makes its own words from that.
Yeah, or you could and his lips were moving.
See, supposedly they can do that pretty well. I know they can do it well with like Obama, and they've done it.
Yeah, I've seen people. Yeah.
So that technology, a year from now, you're not going to be able to tell what's fucking real and what's not.
Maybe we can already. I don't know. That's
very true.
That's what's weird to me is that sometimes things like flat Earth and all that, it almost seems like distractions.
Yes.
They get thrown out there, and all this material gets made, and people start thinking things that may or may not be true. I don't know, but you get like your brain gets bogged down with it. It's like the South Park thing with the Columbine shooters. It's like, come on. Who did this? Why does somebody spend the time doing this?
See, Eddie Bravo will go off. I heard this recently about, I say recently, it may have been a year ago podcast, but I listened to it in the last month or so. But he talks about aliens. About all these, about the government feeding us alien stuff, feeding us, Roswell and all this stuff constantly. And what they're doing is they're getting the world ready to unite as one when the aliens attack, just to implement a world government. So that's the ultimate goal.
Right.
How do you get the people? You have to feed them and feed them and feed them these different examples to where when it happens, and it's all in all the movies too.
We just go like, oh, okay.
Yeah, we have to work together. The aliens are going to kill us. We have to make a world government. Yeah. Bam. So that's his theory on. I mean, not his theory, but he agrees with that theory that he puts out there.
I've read that.
Very interesting stuff.
I've read that theory. Kind of from
and that gets
different
fun
avenues.
Too.
Yeah, man. He gets crazy with some of that stuff too. Which is, hey, man, whatever. I think it's funny. World government. That's probably bad. That's probably not a good thing. I think the bigger government gets, it's probably not good for you.
Well, whenever it becomes a world government, is there still a president, or is it more like the UN where they have to meet and do things? And how much? I don't know enough about the UN. Do you have to have so many votes to be able to do this, or is it still? It seems like if it'd be world government, then there's not a one single unit that. But it's still probably not that great. But it's way better than one person.
Yes, but man, there's so many. I don't like the idea of it because there's so many different locations on the earth, so many different ethnicities, cultures.
Smaller government, yeah. I'm thinking we should keep these governments and we should get along.
Yeah. We should talk and stuff.
One set shouldn't control everything.
Yeah. So that's probably the further it gets away from individual freedom, it's probably worse for humanity. Which in the long, I don't know, man. Me and Philip talked about democide the other day. Just government, death by government or whatever, and just how many people government has killed is by far.
Yeah,
there's nobody even in the running for that.
Yeah,
I mean, you can't even. There's no point even talking about second place.
After I listened to that podcast, I had been wanting to watch it anyways. I started watching, didn't finish, but I wanted to watch Child 44. It was about someone in the Stalinist era. Jason, or is it Jason? Tom Hardy is in it. He's a soldier of some sort. He's an officer, and back then in those times in Russia, especially, and it may still be something like that. There were certain crimes that didn't exist. Because of, and I'm going to fuck this up, I can't remember, but it's really interesting. I was hoping the movie would go into it. Like, murder didn't exist because of the way things were worded. It didn't exist. When you're looking at it, it's so weird the way the government wrote it out, the way Stalin sort of fabricated everything. But yeah, just something as simple as murder doesn't exist because these other things can't happen. how they're written.
It's brainwash. I mean, it sounds like just those systems of control, and that's that's kind of like what and I don't
see that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead, because
you're gonna go off. We're going different directions. I'll remember mine. Go ahead.
It's those systems of control, and sometimes I think of the internet as a system of control, even though I'm perfectly happy to be controlled by it, because it also feels like knowledge and and all that shit as well. But it's weird. Maybe we could just control ourselves too, like how much time we spend on our phones and reading about shit that doesn't matter. And you even said earlier, what was the thing the rabbit hole you were gonna go down, and you changed your mind? Am I fucking this up? Just a few minutes. Never mind. So just, I don't really know where I'm going with this, but like the flat Earth thing, or the Columbine guys, or the South Park creators, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's almost like control through just diversion, or just utter informational chaos, kind of, where there's just so much information that
one
you have no idea.
Conspiracy theory would be there's a group at some level out there pumping out information, making up information, conspiracies about this, conspiracies about that, to keep people thinking about all these other distractions.
Or it's not even a group. It's just
psychopaths everywhere.
Exactly.
Writing shit.
Right, man. We could be just somebody just in their bedroom, just like, I know what I'm going to do. And
we're not designed to know and get this much information.
Right.
We're
just not. That's the thing. We can't filter the amount of information. We're made to be like, hungry, eat, kill the animal, grow food.
Yeah.
I mean, it gets to a certain point where we just, and that's what I'm saying. When I read certain things on the internet, I just go, nope. Not reading about that. It's interesting, and maybe, I'm sure there's some convincing arguments, and I'm going to go down this rabbit hole for 3 hours, but I'm not reading that. I just can't do it.
Now, just think if you're raised in that environment where kids now, they have complete access. Well, kids shouldn't have that access.
Yeah, I don't think
they should. I think you have to wait until a certain. Yeah. But you potentially could have all that access. What does that do to that brain? Yeah. You know what I'm saying, if mine's overwhelmed, maybe that's because I'm dumb. Maybe they develop in a different way.
Maybe, yeah.
And that maybe. But how? So we're not evolved to. We haven't had enough time, I think, evolution-wise, to be able to process all that information, like you said. Yeah. We're made for tribes. It's going to take so fucking long for us to evolve past that, I think, unless we get augmentation. Right. That may change everything as soon as we start getting implants, and that's what Kurzweil is talking about in Singularity is.
How far along are you into that?
Not 8% or some shit. But it's not hard to read. It's fun. But I got to keep going back and repeating things out loud, making sure I understand what he's saying, so that because I know if I get halfway through it and I missed a few steps, there's no point.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be fucked.
You got to know the whole thing.
Yeah.
But anyway,
it's really interesting talking about augmenting parts of your brains, the processes, but what got really interesting is I had an idea, and later on in the book he addressed it, sort of. He brought it up as well, and that's processing power. Is we talked about this?
Yeah. Yesterday, when we worked,
they go so fast. So it's like our 5 minutes, maybe like 5 years to them.
Yeah, that. Okay.
So process. So at some point, if we can augment our processing power, if we can make it better through nanotechnology or whatever, put this in so we can these parts of our brain work faster, so that we can figure out algorithms or whatever. Just think and process life quicker.
Right?
Does that become a form of? How do we view time, and how does time affect us at that point? Make sense? It still physically affects us, but we don't perceive those effects in that way anymore because we process it so quick. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So you're saying like our calculation per second, if it increases,
it's almost like a second doesn't really exist anymore as a second. It's almost a millisecond. And you
don't think we just redefine the second?
Exactly, we do. But I wonder how that has a physical effect on us. If at all.
Yeah, I wonder if it
Do we start to age quicker? Do we start to age slower? Or is it all perceptive?
Are you talking about just knowledge? Or are you talking about
processing power?
Processing
power.
Okay.
And being that we're going down that that direction, if these people are augmented and they're processing so much faster and they're viewing time so much different than this person who decided, I'm not going to be augmented, I'm not going to be implanted at all. How are we different? Do they just see this fucker just going real fast? real quick? It's just like almost like a glitch. They're going so fast. Or is it something else? Do they actually start to physically age different because of how much effect our mind has on the reality around us?
Man, there would probably... I wonder if the effect would be measurable at what point the effect, if any, would be measurable.
I guess that may be what I'm getting at.
Yeah, because if you're just talking about like the difference between like where do you want to eat tonight, and then me going like, I don't know, and then asking somebody who's augmented like where do you want to eat tonight before you even could get the sentence out, they go Applebee's. They know, or are you talking about like how they can process emotion?
I don't even know if that conversation happens anymore.
Yeah, maybe like they can almost. You're saying just some point where we're almost telepathic, where we can process so fast, or
the words become
neural links.
Yes,
we have neural links. We're almost telepathic.
We can almost link into the internet without touching anything. So now we don't have to talk. So we evolve, real quick. Don't really evolve, but we can sort of manufacture. We don't need our tongues. We could use that part of our body. We could just get rid of those, change it in the DNA, so maybe it'll show up something here. You know what I'm saying? So it gets so weird so quick with technology.
So if we're talking about relativity, like Einstein shit and time and all that, so it's basically your motion through space that would change how you perceive time, or actually you may not even perceive it. It would just the way it affects you. So if you're going, a significant fraction of the speed of light, you move through time slower, and you probably wouldn't even realize it. Maybe, but you have the classic, if you got on a spaceship and went, and accelerated to, half the speed of light, and then went for a year and then turned around and came back at half the speed of light, slowed back down and landed on Earth, we'd all be dead and gone, and the Earth would be a vastly different place, and you would be a year older. And you may not even experience it. That I'm not sure. I don't even know if they know if you would experience. You know what I mean? How would you experience it? Presumably you
age quicker, don't you?
No, you wouldn't age. You age slower
because
you're moving. The more you move, so if time is the fourth dimension, the quicker you move through X, Y, and Z, the slower you move through time. That's just the way it works, or that's the way they think it works.
Yeah.
Some experiments they say have shown that. I've never done any of them. Just like I've never flown around the Earth or anything either. But but consciousness doesn't experience time even now, does it? I don't know. Do you know, like, just I never think when I'm thinking or talking, I don't know if my brain is concerned with time. Is it just pure processing? You see what I'm saying? If my brain is just telling my heart to beat, telling my blood to pump, telling my lungs to open and close, to bring in oxygen, to expel carbon dioxide, is my brain even aware of time? When I'm thinking alone in the dark, does time matter? Could I have so many thoughts and process so many things in my head with augmentation that my brain would start to notice time? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. That's kind of what you're talking about, I think, but I don't know.
Not in those terms.
No,
but that's interesting.
No.
That's that's sort of the same concept, but I didn't think about it in those terms.
If you're physically moving through space, there's Einstein, relativity and all that.
It's not me.
I don't know what that is.
My phone.
Oh, maybe it is. But your consciousness, is it relative to you?
Yeah, because it doesn't technically exist in this physical reality.
Yeah, it's like it's another plane, kind of.
Yes.
It's almost.
That's a good point.
It's almost like another existence.
Huh. And that may be what I meant earlier by perception, perceiving. Do we just? I don't know.
Yeah, neither. Well,
He did talk about the speed of light a lot. I'm trying to think how he put it.
Well,
being able to finagle that, whatever and I can't remember how he put it. Once again, he's
was
just now touching.
Talking about processing power and the speed of light, or was he talking about movement or travel? Or do you remember what he was?
No, like I said, he just got into it, so I'm not considering trying to butcher that. I can't remember.
Yeah. Okay. Also, too, like I've thought about this, we always live in the past. Like even right now, something. My computer just did something funny. Oh, it's like Discord or something. I always forget to turn the internet off when we're doing this. I need to. If you think about it next time, remind me like, hey, dude, turn the internet. Just so some stupid program doesn't send our update and then like stop Reaper. We always live in the past though, because it takes light a fraction of a second, very, very small, even just to leave you and make it to me. So I'm always perceiving you in the past, even though it's immeasurable, basically, but mathematically, it's always in the past. If you run your finger over your skin, you're moved on to another part before the signals reach your brain, processed, come back. So you experience even feeling in the past. Yeah, it's imperceptible, but it's technically true. And so, but does consciousness have a speed?
Yeah, I see what you're getting at. I'm gonna have to think on that for a bit and because see where it goes.
There's nothing to compare it to, and that's relativity. There's no
observer. If there's not the particles aren't here or there.
Are there particles?
If there isn't someone to observe them here or there.
Yeah.
So if there's no observer, like you said, the consciousness.
You're the observer
of consciousness.
Of the consciousness. You're the observer of your consciousness.
Yes.
But you don't have anything else to measure it against. You know what I mean? Like if I'm in a car going 100 miles an hour and you're sitting on the road, you know what I mean? And I throw a tennis ball in the air.
How do you even compare it? Because you only have really maybe it's your consciousness. I can't really compare it besides communication.
Unless one day we have some type of neural link that can interface in a way that I don't.
And then there'd have to be something to measure. But
like if you thought something.
Isn't that to measure communication, intelligence, and the measure of consciousness, intelligence, and ignorance, and that's how we have to measure it. We just use our language to smash sounds together until they turn into a language, like we said earlier.
Yeah,
that's the measure of consciousness.
Words.
Yeah,
that's the measure of consciousness.
One way,
sure, and
to articulate it or to get it out here and measure it.
Sure,
but there is something else in there. That once again, that it may be different waves, planes. You get on this wavelength, and now you're on a different reality. Yeah. It's just that consciousness is on a different. It's experiencing a different reality. It's not here anymore. You unconscious or whatever.
Yeah, and then there's in physics they always thought you couldn't move faster than the speed of light, but now they've got some evidence that like certain like up or down spin of a particular particle, no matter how far they are apart, if you and I don't know how the fuck they do this stuff. Again, I've never done it, but presumably, or at least
it's at very least fun to talk about.
They're fun to talk about, and people have supposedly done these things with up and down spin of a particular particle. Mm-hmm. As soon as they observe that this particle is up or down, then if this one's up, then they know the other one is down, and they can observe them no matter how far they are apart. They can observe them supposedly immediately. Like they're linked in some other way besides just communication that takes time to pass. Almost like they have the same consciousness. Like there is no delay. There's nothing relative to the consciousness of this particular particle or up or down spin of some quark or whatever. And that's So it's like there is nothing to measure it against, which is how I perceive consciousness. There's no relativity in it. You can't. I don't know. There's no measure.
That was pretty fucking deep.
Maybe I'm still lost. Just
me
as lost,
too.
Though,
I'm lost too, but I'm gonna be able to write that down and think on that. That's pretty deep. I don't know.
I always thought a book, because I'm in an online. I used to be big into it, but gaming.
Okay.
And so if you're in Texas or let's say you're in New York and I'm in Louisiana, we're playing Quake or some game online, and I click my button to shoot you on my screen. The click takes time. The computer processes it. The signal is sent to the graphics card to draw it on my screen. The signal goes out of my cable wire through my modem, down to some server that shoots it over optically to some other place. And yours is doing all that too. And it may take 30 milliseconds round trip or something like that, which is practically nothing. Mm-hmm. But there is this weird point where it's very difficult to figure out if we're doing something at the same time because the distances and the processing and all that. I don't know. I think it'd be a neat like coffee table book, like relativity in first person shooter games or something. I always thought it'd be kind of a neat book. I'm not smart enough to do anything with that idea, but it's interesting to think about. Somebody hits a jump pad in a game and you rail gun them as they're shooting. What I mean? And it seems like it's like pew when it happens, but the processing power of the or the programming, I think, has to take into account all that stuff.
Yeah, it must.
Just like satellites have to take into account relativity because they're moving so fast and their signals are being bounced back and forth, in order to communicate properly and to read time so that they stay in sync and all that. They have to run like relativity calculations and stuff, which is
I'm glad people know how to do that.
Way smarter than us.
Yeah, fuck me. Oh man, if anything, if the lights go out today, they're gonna be out for a while. Yeah. If it's up to me, it's just not gonna come back on probably.
Is that Joe Rogan joke where he's like, "Oh yeah, so if I dropped you on a beach with nothing, like how long before you could send me an email?"
Yeah,
exactly. Like, yeah, it'd take a while.
Yeah,
yeah, you're not smart as you think, dude.
No, I understand that I'm useless, and that I'm okay with that because there are a lot of people that aren't. And more likely to be a zombie apocalypse than anything else, and then I just gotta worry about eating.
Yeah, man, just some canned soup.
That's the big thing is in the apocalypse, you're not really worried about some of this shit anymore.
Oh no,
you're like, man, I wish I had the internet, but I really hope I don't die.
Well, that's leisure time has definitely given us some shit that we're not going to starve to death, most of us, and we don't have to go hunt for food and all that. So yeah, we've come up with other ways to entertain ourselves, and sometimes it's about things we probably shouldn't waste time on, but I don't know what else,
Yeah, what you can do?
Yeah, what are you gonna do? I don't know. What's something that you're super interested in, like besides like jiu-jitsu and certain like something you haven't told me about?
I don't know.
I can't tell you. I
don't want to say. No, I haven't brought it up because I don't want to talk about it. No.
Well, something you can tell me.
I have no idea, man. I like conscious psychology. I used to be really big into psychology so much to where I wanted to go to school to be a psychiatrist.
Yeah.
Because I liked the way the brain works so much. I was so into philosophy and mental theory and stuff like that. And then at some point, something clicked in my brain, and I said, you know what? It's just all bullshit. Yeah. Psychology is just all bullshit, which I'm going to preface this with I don't believe that anymore.
Yeah, okay.
But in my young age and whatever happened in my life, I said, it's just a bunch of fucking lies. We're just lying to people so that they feel better about themselves so they can continue on their way.
Yeah.
That's all it is. So I completely dropped it. And I went I'm going to go do science or whatever,
Yeah.
But now I feel completely 180. I do see that there's a lot of use in it. It's not just bullshit. It's not just lies. It's a collection of experiences, the way we're interpreting those experiences. It's very complex. It's very subtle at the same time.
Yes.
But I used to love psychology. I'm getting way more into it. Thank you to Jordan Peterson and, reintroducing, because he's breaking down the Bible, basically. And
yeah, that's an interesting thing.
Yes,
because it's such he's kind of doing it through like this archetypal lens, sort of.
Exactly. It's very good. So I'm enjoying it.
That's interesting.
Thoroughly. And it may be because I've always searched for something. Maybe I didn't have a dad growing up. I had a few male figures in my life, but not real constant ones. So maybe that's just me searching for a way to get interested in these massive things like religion or whatever, and just not wanting to admit to it. I don't know.
Huh.
But it is he's getting very interested to me.
Yeah.
Just getting back into psychology and stuff like that.
Yeah, psychology. I took a psychology class just in high school, and the teacher was kind of fun. And I always
they didn't even offer psychology in my high school. I went to such a shitty little school.
Well, I mean, yeah, I don't actually. It was weird that they did, but it was like the elective that everybody took.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh yeah, I'll take psychology. Yeah. It's like human sexuality, and I went to UNO. And the human sexuality class is one of the electives that you take like your freshman year. And there's like, there might be 5 or 6 other things like Spanish or French or something. Well, those have like 25 people in them. The human sexuality class had like 2,500 people. So they had to do it like this auditorium with like the seating and all that, and yeah. So.
And see, that should show right there how neglected our education system is in high schools and stuff like that. We should be addressing things like that.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it was that or it may be that. It's probably a big portion of that, but I think it was also too just like cool, it's sex,
Yeah, well, exactly. But there's a reason it's so cool. There's a bunch of reasons.
Yeah, you're right.
For one, half those people got hard-ons.
Yeah.
And
like 18, 19.
The other one
old.
is it's neglected. And we don't talk about it enough, especially in our country. We just we have a week of sex ed, I think, and half of it is just don't laugh.
Yeah.
What the fuck? fuck? That's how we're supposed to. Well, then we're just gonna go jam it in everything we can. We get diseases. We get girls pregnant.
Yeah.
We get all these things just because, once again, drug education is poor, sex education is poor, the math system's fucking up.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know the answer by any stretch of the
I mean,
imagination, but I do know we need to invest a little more time into it and build the fucking wall so that we can invest time in real things. You know, quit arguing over shit that really.
It's a wall. I can have a gate in it, man.
Yeah,
just put a
come
gate
on.
in it and we'll figure it out.
What the fuck? But those never come up because they're so complex. It's easy to argue over a piece of fucking land, right?
Yeah.
It's so easy, but it's harder to because no one has a real answer.
Yeah, the answers are hard. The answers are hard.
And whenever you start arguing, there's no real answer, man. I think it can get violent. If not, I can't think of the word.
Well, you said
real quick,
like you said, like psychology. And when you said psychology, I always think of therapy with psychology.
Well, that's what I used to consider it as well.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's sort of when it got me thinking, oh, it's a bunch of fucking lies.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, it's a part of it for sure. You know, like working through with people that have PTSD or marital, problems in their marriage or relationships or whatever. Or
people have problems in their marriage.
No, man, that shit never happens. I don't even know why I said that. That's that's total bullshit.
Anyway,
or just childhood experiences or whatever, and that's kind of what I think of. I think of psychology. Psychology to me is kind of like preparing if you majored in it or something. I mean, you're basically trying to figure out. I mean, what is it like? Basically, just what people are, why they are what they are, not what they are, but why they do what they do. You know, where it's chemical imbalances or medication, or lack of medication, or just some weird experience they've had, and then therapy to try to help them through that. You got to do something. What time is it, man?
It is 6:30.
Oh wow, dang! We've been talking for a while.
I have no idea. I gotta text somebody here in a second. So if you wanna,
we can cut it through. Okay. Yeah, man. I was actually thinking
we can keep going, but we can wrap it up either way.
No, let's go ahead because I'm getting a little hungry.
Okay,
and it's been a little while.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, thanks for coming, dude. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate it, Barrett.
Another Purple Shed podcast.
Purple Shed, look it up
in the e-history books.
Woo!
All right, I'm gonna stop everything and save everything, and hopefully it all stops and saves properly.
Awesome.